All you hoes, you and your mammy and your granny too. I'm sick of this shit. All you hoes don't give a damn what you wanna do.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with.
Must reign.
The Q&As, let me just double check. All right, we are good to get right back into it. So we were considering as the next prompt, feminism lies about the benevolent nature of men. Andrew wanted to do that one. How's that sound for you?
Cool, cool, cool.
Okay, perfect. We'll get right into it.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to another edition here on the Chaos Reign Show. I am Chaos Reign. And the second and final part of this debate, long way debate, Andrew Wilson versus the Black Feminists. I think her name is Naima. And they're going to go further into discussion. And mind you, this is another segment because they had a debate a few months back, and this one is now the other half of it. So let's look at it, give some reactions, enjoy. And guys, like, comment, subscribe to this channel. Let's go.
Okay, Andrew, if you wanted to do that one, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, hang on a second. Yeah, so when I'm referencing the benevolent nature of men, I'm referencing that men can, at any time they want, take the rights away from women, and there's nothing that women can do about it, and the opposite is not true, and therefore I believe that men are benevolent, and there should be gratitude shown for them not doing that.
Wait, so you do believe that men are benevolent? So then how is feminism lying about the benevolent nature
Because
of men?
feminism is saying that men are not benevolent, that men are the oppressor class.
And you're saying that men are benevolent?
Yes.
Based on the fact that you could rape someone and then you choose not to?
Based on the fact that...
kind of the bare minimum, no?
Yeah. Can you repeat back my position so that I know you understand it?
No, Andrew, why don't you just repeat it if you feel like you want to
I want you to steel man it so I know you understand it.
No, Andrew, I'm not going to steal man.
Well, I don't know where to go with that, Brian.
Just give me your opinion again.
I just gave it. What do you want me to do here? I just gave her the position. She won't steel man it.
Then say it again.
Okay. So one more time.
Sure.
Women, in this case feminists, consider men to be malevolent oppressors. Men are the oppressor class, the patriarchy. And it's actually through the benevolence of men that women have rights, and I think women should be grateful to men that they have rights.
And how are you defining rights in this instance?
I would consider rights to be a set of preferences that are shared between people.
Okay. So.
I'm going for rights. Rights mean that I give you the rights, and when time is right, I'll take away your rights. Because no matter who's in the body of the government, rather you see a few women that's in higher or lower office, this government, this whole body is still conducted in control under the supervision of men. So when the time is right, what you're seeing from all the laws roll back because of the physical birth decline of America done in American citizens, the men are now rolling back time, rolling back the laws to get back order because men restore order, Miss Naima. So you might write that down and fake you want definitions, but this is how things are going to go. Let's continue.
Shared preferences.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, so just reading that back. Men are benevolent because they could kill women, but they choose not to.
Yeah.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
But that's kind of the bare minimum. Like anyone is benevolent.
Yeah, that's
in
just
that
an
sense.
assertion. Can you substantiate that?
I mean,
What makes it the bare
anyone
minimum?
can commit an act of violence against someone that is smaller than them, and we all every day choose not to. I don't think
Yeah,
that
that's not an
benevolent.
argument. Can you give me
I
an
mean,
argument?
Yeah, my argument is that I don't necessarily agree with your definition
That's
of
not an
benevolence,
argument.
But well, we just had an hour-long debate over definitions, so now
So
you're
then, do
opposed
you,
to
do you
that
want
when
to
it's
define?
your definition.
Do you want to
that's
define
being-
benevolent?
I mean, honestly, in terms of the premise, I do agree with you that men are benevolent, but I don't agree that benevolence is simply choosing not to commit acts of harm against others.
Really? Because I thought your entire moral stance was about not committing acts of harm against others, and that's what the good is.
Yeah,
So then
but that's kind
that
of
would
the
mean that
bare
then that would mean men are
minimum,
good.
Andrew. No, I mean good is proliferating positive acts.
No, that's not what you said.
I think it's a moral
not what you said.
neutral. I think it's objectively morally neutral.
Objectively morally neutral.
Well, oh God, not the word objective. Never mind, cut that one. I think it's just morally neutral. To decide not to kill someone is a moral neutral. You
Okay.
haven't done something
Can you
good,
give
you haven't
me-
done something bad, you've done nothing.
Okay, then can you substantiate what moral neutrality is?
Moral neutrality is when you haven't done something that is good or bad.
Okay, so, and what are we considering bad here from your argument?
Bad would be the proliferation of human suffering.
And this would mean then that since men are not proliferating human suffering, they're not doing anything bad, right?
Yes, but then the opposite of proliferating human suffering would be proliferating something that is beneficial to mankind.
Like women's rights?
But you've done nothing.
Wait, like
it's a zero.
Wait, like
it's a net
wait,
zero.
Like women's rights?
So you don't think that women had any stake in defining their rights?
That's not contending with the argument.
You don't think that like civil
That's not
disobedience is a way to
contending
fight
with
for
the
rights?
argument. That's asking a question.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it is
giving you a
contending with
formal
the
argument.
You're saying that men just decided unilaterally
No.
one day that they were going to give women rights, but that's
Yes.
not what happened.
Well,
because
hang on.
we know historically there were multiple waves of feminism.
Uh-huh.
How you think you ladies got your rights? You think one day you got your ass off the bed, put your clothes on, and ask your husband or go in front of a group of men and say, "All right, I want rights to vote this, that." No, it is like anything, a process. Thanks to black people in America, i.e., black men, why most women today, including non-black women, have the right to operate in society. Your man was never going to give you rights unless other men have pushed the wave and shown the example to make it eligible for all other, including women that is in their own race, to be able to move with rights. Keep that in mind, ladies. Keep that in mind. You can kiss the black man's foot after this. Let's go.
In which women participated in civil and civil disobedience in order to be awarded.
Yeah, and my
those rights.
argument is that if men chose to collectivize to stop whatever their collective disobedience was, it would have been stopped.
Okay, so you think that men are good because they could choose to murder all women and they don't?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And not only that, but that they're benevolent.
Do you want a cookie? Yeah, that's true. I agree.
They're benevolent. Men are
I don't think that all men
then
are
that means that feminism.
But there are tons of men who do commit acts of
so
violence,
when
and there are
fem-
tons of women who do commit
yeah,
acts
so
of violence,
when-
and those women and men are not benevolent.
So that then when feminists claim that the patriarchy is evil and malevolent, you would claim the patriarchy is malevolent.
No, that I would claim the patriarchy is
Benevolent. You would claim it's benevolent.
So there we go. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that I'm claiming the patriarchy is malevolent or benevolent?
I'm asking, is the patriarchy malevolent or benevolent?
No, I believe perpetuating inequality is malevolent, but that doesn't mean that all men are inherently malevolent.
Well, how does the patriarchy advocate for
I mean, the patriarchy
inequality?
is a system
Yeah.
of inequality
Run
on
by
the
who?
basis of gender that is run by men.
Okay. So
Yes.
those men are evil?
I think that if you are attempting to perpetuate inequality through the oppression of others,
Yeah.
that is a morally bad action.
And how's the patriarchy doing that?
The patriarchy is perpetuating inequality of women by, denying them the right to vote, denying them.
Didn't they give them the right to vote?
Well, they didn't give them. It was one.
Well, no, again, unfortunately, just seconds ago, you agreed with me
Yeah,
that
I
if
do
men,
agree
hang
with
on,
you.
that if men wanted to take away the rights of women to vote, they could. By that logic, then,
Before I continue, I must do this, and this goes out to my good brother.
Show you the money. Show you the money. Show me the money. Show me the money! Show me the money!
I'd like to thank Tevin Kim for the super chat. What's up, Chaos? I finally able to catch a live stream before work. I'm glad you're able to do, my brother. You know me, the late night after hours shows, you know, sometimes I try to do them early, sometimes I do late. Things gonna probably change as we move on to, 2026 roughly, regardless how I do the streams, so look out for that. But thank you for your super chat. I truly appreciate it. Like many contributing supports of the channel. I don't get many, Tevin, as you know. Only a few people support this channel, but you're one of many. And I give thanks and praise to you, my brother. I hope everything goes well. Like I said, any questions, you post it in. And one thing is evident, Tevin, because I know you're traveling. Are you familiar with what's going on in regards to the passport bros, Tevin? Because a lot of things have been going on with these guys going overseas. If you want, please put in the chat room. Let's continue on with the conversation here. Let's go.
If the patriarchy could have taken away their right to vote and did not, how could they be anything less than benevolent? Didn't they equalize voting between men and women?
Yes.
Then how could you say that
But the
they're in some way...
patriarchy isn't what equalized voting between men and women. It was women's struggle that is what granted women the right to vote.
No, it was men who did not get in the way and went ahead and granted it because they could have taken it whenever they wanted.
Well,
right?
I don't think that every man is an inherent, master of the patriarchy. I think that there are many men who oppose the patriarchy alongside of women.
Is the system that men or women feminists were fighting against patriarchal?
Yes. I believe that the system is malevolent, but men are not all inherently evil.
Yeah, I know, but can I give the argument?
I'm agreeing with you, Andrew. What are you?
Yes, men are not all evil, but men, at the end of the day, move with logic. They move with purpose. And that's all. Let's be honest. To all men that's watching, we all know this. Not every man is created equal. So in regards you getting rights, only a few men will play the game of giving everybody else rights with the backing of other men. Let that sit in your mind, chick. Now, as you know, I see some else on here. I gotta do another shout out. You know what to do when guys or women or anybody that supports the Chaos Radio Show. This one goes out to y'all.
Show me the money.
Show you the money. Show you the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money.
All right, another super chat from my good friend Tammy King. Thank you again, my brother, for the $10. And the previous super chat you gave was $5. This one's $10, so I appreciate it. And you're right. I didn't know Andrew was still showing himself after being destroyed by CGA and outset for saving a single month of 3 all in the same month. Well, you got to keep in mind, Tevin, Andrew Wilson, like many content creators, for people that don't know, right? His mission is to see non-black men especially get married and still function like human beings and as men, growing and perpetuating the race. Nothing's wrong with that. I give comments to Andrew. The problem is you're in a space, particularly in a what they call either a blue pill or red pill space within the so-called manosphere. Their direction is totally different from what Andrew's vision of what he wants to see young men or men of his age do in regards to helping perpetuate and saving within their own race. He does not want to see young men, most men of his group, be degenerates out here screwing and banging random women for no good reason. He wants to see families again. And I give him praise for that. I have no problem with that. The problem is he's in the wrong direction, wrong space. Now, will he still operate in the program of pushing manosphere ideologies and thoughts and actions? Maybe. But his true mission is to see men generally, mostly in his group, get married and have families. That's his real mission. That's his end goal. That's how I see Andrew moving forward. So thank you for the chat. Yeah, no, Andrew. All right, let's continue.
even arguing
I'm asking, is the patriarchy benevolent?
No,
Well,
I
then
don't
we have
believe,
a
but the
then we have a point of
patriarchy isn't a
contention.
person, Andrew. It's
I'm
all
not
like,
saying
"Oh, I'm the patriarchy."
I'm
It's a
not
system.
saying it's a person, but if it's men who are in charge of a system and the men in charge of the system allow women to vote, then that would mean that the patriarchy, by your logic, is benevolent.
I believe that a system that is intended to perpetuate inequality on any basis is malevolent.
Then can you tell me how the
However,
patriarchy is
men
malevolent?
are not inherently
Yeah, I know, but can you tell
malevolent.
me then how the patriarchy is malevolent?
The patriarchy is malevolent because it's a system that is perpetuated to increase inequality, which increases human suffering.
Can you demonstrate that?
Well, before feminism and women didn't have the rights to vote, hold credit cards, own homes, leave their husbands, get divorced, sued and be sued. If a woman were to be mistreated by a man, she would have no power to leave that man without sacrificing her ability to have housing, food, and basic human needs. So it puts women in a position of dependency on men, so that if there is an individual man who decides to behave malevolently, that woman has no ability to get away from him.
And the patriarchy
Perpetuates that
the
by
patriarchy, hang
preventing
on.
women
Okay,
from
go ahead.
having access to jobs and the things that would allow them to get their own resources.
Yeah. So there's
thus
two
defining
arguments.
their own individual freedom.
Yeah, there's two arguments there, so I'll contend with both of them. Let's start with the first one. If it is the case that the patriarchy was acting in a malevolent way and women appealed to the patriarchy and they granted them these various rights that you considered was unjust, which by your logic they had to, then wouldn't that be the patriarchy acting benevolently?
But we're not appealing to the patriarchy.
Well, then who would
we're
you-
appealing to the morality of men. I don't think that all men are naturally just patriarchy.
Then when you were fighting the system,
patriarchy is a system, but men are not the system.
So
Some men are
did
creators
the
of
system give you the right to vote?
The system did not give us the right to vote.
Then who did?
Men who were not who did not subscribe to the system helped us establish the right to vote through our own work as social muckrakers.
So wait, I'm confused.
Civil disobedience.
Who was in
I mean,
charge?
do you not believe in like protests?
Who
It
was in
about
charge? Who was in
protest.
charge at the time? Was it a patriarchal system?
Yes, it was a patriarchal
And
system.
did that patriarchal system give you the right to vote?
No.
Well, then how did you get the right to vote?
Men and women
Uh-huh.
who were against the concept and the proliferation of the patriarchy fought alongside each other.
Fought how? With science?
Which man and which woman, Naima? Which one? You gotta go back in history. Why women got the right to vote? Mostly all women. Let's be honest. What's the race? Who are these people? That's a question you should be asking yourself, Naima. Because European women have been part of white men for a long time. Why is it until the last almost a century? Matter of fact, let me check what date when women got the right vote. I think it was in the 20s. Let me double check. 1 second. Because I want to make sure my math's right. What year women I'm conflicted. I think it's 1927, I think. Oh, my fault. They got the right to vote 105 years ago. 1920. August 18th. This is nationwide. And during the time when Marcus came out, women, black women especially, were able to participate in the black circle. And Europeans saw that, and white women saw that, and they bugged their men, so the men had to play along because of black men. People didn't know that. But you don't know that, Naeem, because you're not giving actual critical information to combat Andrew. You just talking out your mouth saying women part. No, women didn't fight nothing. The men eventually had to yield. The men who runs the side that are mostly non-black had to yield and give their women and all women in the nation of America the right to vote. Keep that in mind. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
And
it's worked all over the world.
I
Nelson
see.
Mandela, Gandhi.
I see.
Like,
So hang on.
there is civil disobedience that
So
has
help me out.
awarded people rights.
How did they win it exactly? Like, what did they do?
Well, a law was passed that
What
gave
law?
women the right to vote.
What law?
Which amendment is it?
You don't know?
No, I don't remember which amendment specifically is the one that gives women the right to vote, but there was an amendment that gave women the right to vote. There's also an amendment that gives...
So...
I'll say again, the year was August the 18th, 1920, baby. You should know that off the back of your head. Anyhow.
Then actually the established system, which was in power, which was patriarchal, passed an amendment for women to vote?
But it's not a system passing. A system is not a person, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Do people get to vote on amendments?
Yes. So people voted on the amendment. That's not the
Brian,
system.
can we pull
though.
up?
Do you understand the difference between a system and a person who
I
is
would like to
in
pull
a
up.
system?
I would like to pull up if people voted on the amendment.
Yes, people did vote on the amendment.
Okay.
So you think that all of those people, like, do you think that every man is inherently the patriarchy?
Hang on, let's do a fact check here. I just want to make
Well,
sure.
do you think that every man is inherently the patriarchy?
What do you like me to pull up?
Did the people have a direct vote on the 19th Amendment?
No, it's 19th. Glad I didn't guess. I was going to say 22nd.
One moment.
Sure.
It says, no, the general public did not have a direct vote on the 19th Amendment.
But that's not how any amendment is
The amendment
added.
was ratified through the process outlined in the U.S. Constitution,
Okay.
which involves votes by elected representatives.
So then people did vote.
So who was the system?
Who is
No, that
the
wasn't
system?
the people voting.
Yes,
you
elected.
just got caught in
so
a
are
huge lie.
Wait, hold on, Andrew. Are elected representatives human or not? Are they people?
Were they the patriarchy?
No, I'm asking you, are they human?
Sure.
The question was, did people vote
Was
to
that-
ratify the 19th Amendment?
They
I'm saying
didn't.
yes. And
The
there
people
were,
didn't vote.
I'm not saying the people,
Yes,
the
you
entire
were.
country. I'm saying people.
You're just gaslighting because you got caught
No,
in a
I'm
lie.
not, Andrew.
Now help me out
I'm
here.
saying people as in...
Were the elected officials the patriarchy?
I don't believe that all of the... I don't know every single elected official
Then who
voted
was
on
the
this.
patriarchy they were fighting against?
It's a system. It's
And
not
who
a
was in charge of the
person.
system?
Do you understand
Who
that
was
it's
in
not a
charge of the
person?
system?
The system proliferates itself. No one is specifically like, do you think there's
How
like
do
a
systems
Lorax for
proliferate
the
themselves without
patriarchy?
people?
A system is created
By
Actually,
people.
That's it. Yes. So a system is created by people and can be amended by people, but the system itself is not a person. Do you understand that? There's no person who's like, I am the spokesperson.
Was
of
the patriarchy in charge of the system or not?
Was the patriarchy in charge of the patriarchy?
Was the patriarchy in charge of the system?
Of what system?
Of the electoral system?
Was the patriarchy in charge? Well, men were in charge of the electoral system.
Was the patriarchy?
But the patriarchy's not able to be in charge of the patriarchy. What's wrong with you?
Who's in charge of the patriarchy if it's not the patriarchy?
Well, it's men, but not every man is inherently a member of the patriarchy.
Who says every man? I'm talking about elected.
Exactly.
I'm talking about elected officials. Were
Exactly.
the elected officials who these women were protesting to change the law, the patriarchy they were protesting against?
I don't know if every single elected official that voted on the 19th Amendment was for or against the patriarchy, Andrew.
Were they the patriarchy?
Are they all the patriarchy? I'm not going to make that assumption about.
Then
a
what
large
system
group
are
of
you?
people.
Then point to what the system is that's the patriarchy. What is that system?
The system of the patriarchy is the government structure that enabled, well, actually, the system of the patriarchy is the structure in government that enables inequality on the basis of gender. It's not just one thing, it's a series of laws.
And was that system of patriarchy?
It was set up by men.
And was it in
yes.
place at the time the 19th Amendment was put in place? That
Yes.
system of, and so weren't they appealing to that system of patriarchy in order to get the 19th Amendment passed?
They appeal to men who worked within the patriarchy, but those men don't
So the
have
patriarchy?
to be the patriarchy.
So they appealed to the patriarchy.
But not every man is the patriarchy.
I didn't say they were.
Yes,
In this
you're
case, we're talking about a system of elected officials. Where that system of elected officials,
I don't think that the
patriarchy.
Constitution and the entire government is the patriarchy.
Then what is the
Andrew.
patriarchy?
It's
Point to it.
specific laws that enable the proliferation
How can
of
a law be a
inequality.
patriarchy?
A law can be so it's specific laws that enable the proliferation of inequality.
That can't be the
on basis of
patriarchy. The
gender.
patriarchy's
Yes,
people,
it's
isn't
a
it?
collection. No, you're the one that said that.
Patriarchy is not people?
No, it's an inanimate object. It's not a fucking person. You keep saying the patriarchy is people. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So what's a matriarchy?
A matriarchy would be a system of laws that proliferates the inequality of the sexes in favor of women.
So if you have a matriarchy, would it require that there was women who were in charge and in powerful positions, the top
Yes.
positions?
Yes.
Right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be matriarchal, right?
Sure.
So then patriarchal, it would have to have men in those same positions.
Yes, but those men
Hang on.
are not
Let me
the
just follow up.
patriarchy,
Let me just follow up.
right?
Well, no, I think who else would be the patriarchy then?
It's a system.
It's
It's laws, Andrew.
Can you-
like the law that did not allow women to vote is a part of the patriarchal system, but it's not one freaking dude. Why do you keep thinking that the patriarchy is a single set of humans?
Okay, well then walk me through.
It can be an ideology as well.
Okay, I
so
see.
like if you are a man who says I believe that women don't have a right to vote, then yes, you would be in favor of a patriarchal system.
when feminists were fighting against patriarchy, they were fighting against an inanimate object.
We're fighting against a system, yes.
An inanimate object.
Do you not understand how systemic oppression works?
Well, I don't understand how
No, you don't understand how
patriarchy
systemic
works.
oppression works. Okay, so you don't understand how patriarchy
I
works.
guess I don't.
Thank you. All right,
I'm
well-
super confused. Feminists were fighting against an inanimate object.
It's a system. Do you know what a system is? Can you define the
Well,
word
I think
system?
I think that system.
No, baby, you find objects, baby. You find objects. You should ask the question yourself, do you understand systems? Because still, most human beings, or most people in general in America, we don't still have a conceptual understanding of a system. We feel what is being done here in this unite body is done for the best interest for what the American people or the public, right? But as time progresses, books have been written, and what we see with our own eyes, that is not necessarily true. There are policies now. Hell, there are laws now that is structured and geared to perpetuate oppression in a more what is considered global scale. We're not going into details because that's some I'll leave that for y'all to look and imagine and do further understanding or investigation for yourself. But nonetheless, I always ask you, Naima, do you understand systems? Let's go. Let's continue.
Systems of governance require human beings.
Yes.
And I think specifically that
But systems of
I
government.
think specifically feminists were pointing at men in the government as being the patriarchy for sure.
Systems of government require human beings, but systems of government are not human beings. That's what I'm saying. Those men might have had power because of the patriarchy, but the patriarchy is not defined by those 5 people. If they were to die, then the patriarchy is not dead, it's not over. And that's the issue with the system, is because it's inanimate, you can't just appeal to one group of people and expect it to end.
So let me
That's why there's been multiple waves of feminism.
Okay, so I just
if
wanna-
the patriarchy was just the people that ratified the 19th
Yeah,
Amendment, then
yeah.
we would be over. Like there'd be nothing to talk about.
So when you're appealing to, I want to get rid of the patriarchy,
Yes.
you're saying that you want to just change governmental systems?
I want to repeal certain laws that proliferate the inequality.
So
of the
patriarchy is just
sexes.
laws?
Well, it's a collection of laws and systems, yes.
Well, what system?
Well, it's within the United States government system.
Yeah, but what's the system look like? Because it looks to me like we have the same fucking system that we had then.
Yes, but you see how laws can be amended and can change
So it's
the
just
rights?
laws.
Yes, essentially. It's
So,
a collection of laws.
so patriarchy is just a collection of laws.
Well, it's the idea that a collection of laws creates a system of inequality. Yes,
Okay, so
on the basis of gender.
Is any law which creates something which is unequal based along gender lines patriarchal?
Well, if it creates inequality on the like in favor of women, then no, that would be a matriarchal law, right?
Okay, so matriarchy and patriarchy from your view,
It's not a human. It's a collection of laws.
it's just laws.
Yes.
So if laws favor a gender, then it's matriarchal, and if laws favor the gender female, then or sex female, then it's matriarchal.
Yes.
And sex male, it's patriarchal.
Yeah, and I'm fine with sex and gender interchangeably. I know some woke
I mean,
people
I'm
are.
not
Really?
really.
You don't think that you can use sex and gender interchangeably in this context?
No, I think
that's interesting.
I think that when progressives say gender, they mean something that I mean. I use it interchangeably with sex because I mean female and male, and they don't. So let me
In the
ask you.
context of this, I think we should use it interchangeably, but that's
Yeah,
okay if
so
you don't want to.
so help me out here with this then. I just want to make sure I got this right. When we're talking about systems of enforcement for laws, for these laws,
Yes.
is the primary enforcement mechanism going to be men?
Well, the primary enforcement mechanism for most laws is our legal system, right?
No, the enforcement arm.
The enforcement would be the police.
And would you say that the police are mostly compiled of men?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Would you say that almost all enforcement mechanisms are compiled mostly by men?
Sure.
So then if we're talking about just the enforcement of laws that you want, aren't you again appealing to men?
Okay. And?
I just want to make sure that that's correct.
Okay.
Well, then you're ratifying force doctrine.
I'm not ratifying force doctrine, though, because it's not a judgment on. I mean, actually, I believe in your descriptor of force doctrine. My issue is that I don't believe in your prescriptor of force doctrine. I don't believe you're in your opinion on it.
Force
Yes,
doctrine is
force
not a
doctrine-
prescription.
Well, do you have an opinion on force doctrine? Do you believe that
It's a descriptor.
Do you believe that it's moral?
What?
Force doctrine. Do you
Wow.
believe that using coercive force
Wait a second.
to consolidate power is moral?
Sometimes.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, sometimes it
that.
is. But
But not all the time?
no.
Okay, deal.
No.
Deal.
But
I like that.
the thing is,
Andrew, you know we mostly like agree on this one, right? Like, what the fuck are we even talking about right now?
well, I just wanted to make sure that, I mean, it actually does sound like you think that if all you're appealing to when you say patriarchy is laws that are passed, right? That's it. And that's what patriarchy is. I think that that is in complete disagreement with the feminist movement and what early feminist pioneers were saying, which is that it's a male-oriented system, not laws.
It is a
and,
male-oriented.
And that it's the men who are in charge, which are problematic. So
I believe that the laws are what are basically more. I believe that the laws are what are malevolent in this system. When
Okay.
it comes to the existence of the patriarchy, it is laws. Those laws were created by some men. Those men who created laws to perpetuate inequality, they are immoral for that action. But I don't believe that all men are immoral just because we live in a patriarchal society. I mean, that would be ridiculous. How would I do anything? How would I have a conversation with
But that's
any
not
of
what
you?
I'm asking.
It
I'm
is,
asking
though.
you to
You said that
differentiate.
feminism lies about the benevolence
They
of
do.
men, and that feminists believe
Feminists
that all
do lie
men
about the
are
benevolence
immoral,
of men.
and I don't think that all men are immoral.
Yeah, well, then I don't think that you believe in the same prescriptions that your feminist forebears did.
My feminist forebears didn't believe all men were immoral.
Well, it's not
either.
all.
They had husbands.
They definitely believed, though, that the system of patriarchy was literally men who wanted to be in charge and men reinforcing the system of men
Yes.
being in charge.
But that's not every man, is what I'm saying.
I didn't say it was.
Okay.
That's not the point.
But we're talking about the benevolence of all men. Yes, I believe that the men who created the patriarchy are immoral, but that doesn't mean that the men who continue to exist in the patriarchy
Okay.
are all
And
inherently immoral.
what makes those men immoral?
What makes those men immoral is that they sought to perpetuate inequality within our society
And what makes that immoral?
on the basis of gender.
Yeah, what makes inequality
Well,
immoral?
I believe it's the violation of natural rights, but you don't agree that those exist. So I guess it is completely immoral to oppress. It's completely moral to oppress people, according to you.
Well, so what natural right?
But if you wanted to do your
I
prescriptive
just want to make sure.
definition of
Yeah, I just want to make sure when
morality,
you say
because we don't want to be.
Yeah, when you say a natural right, you believe that it's immoral under natural rights. Which natural right does that violate?
Well, I believe that we all have a natural right to bodily autonomy, physical autonomy.
You do.
Yeah,
Really?
the right to bodily autonomy. Yes.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so if two twin brothers want to have sex with each other, are they allowed to?
Oh my God! Wait, my bingo. Wait, my bingo. Oh, hold on.
Can you just answer
What
the
are we
fucking
gonna say?
question? This is
Yeah, it would be nice to answer the question. All right, let me see. Oh, let's look. See someone in the chat room. There are no legal advantages for men in America. Yeah, you might have a point. You know, that's something I was conflicted if she was black. From looking at her social media presence, she gives me the impression that she is a mulatto, a mixed race. A parent might be black, and the other parent might be non-black. That's the vibe again from Naima. But you know, your eyes will tell you different. Like my eyes tell me different from what I'm seeing from the outside looking in. All right, let's keep going. And if you guys have any questions, please put in the chat room or a super chat. I prefer super chat, but nonetheless, you know, support the channel.
so performative and cringe.
If two twin brothers. No,
Can you,
I
can
guess
you
that
put
was
the bingo
also
thing?
red.
Yeah,
away?
can we
you
just,
put-
it's so cringe.
That
Can you
one's
just
also
engage
just a
with the
red
fucking debate? If two twin brothers want to enter into an incestuous relationship, do you have any moral objection to that based on your standard of natural law? As you just said, everybody has bodily autonomy.
So long as it's not harming yourself or others. I don't think that this is necessarily relevant to the conversation.
answer the
Do you
question?
know two twin brothers who are
Can
trying
you
to fuck
answer
right
the
now?
question? Do you believe that two twin
trying to
brothers
fuck?
who have sex with each other Do you think that that's inherently immoral?
I think it's disgusting.
Is it inherently immoral?
I think it's pretty gross.
Is it inherently immoral?
I mean, to me, yes. But
Well, then you just violated your own definition of natural law, which says that people have bodily autonomy. You're saying now they don't, and that's immoral. So which is it?
yeah, I mean, it's just gross, though. It's
Okay,
not-
so is it immoral?
Yeah, I mean, well, what are the repercussions of it? Are they harming themselves or each other?
They're both consenting.
If two consenting brothers want to commit an act of incest,
Is it immoral?
I don't know. I think it's kind of a gray area. I say it's technically not defying either of their right to bodily autonomy, but I think it could potentially cause
Is
harm.
it immoral or not inherently?
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
Answer the fucking question. Is it inherently immoral or not?
I don't know, honestly. I'm going to say I don't know.
You don't know
What
if
do you
it's
think?
you don't know if it's inherently immoral after you just said you believe every single individual has bodily autonomy for two twin brothers to engage in an incestuous relationship. You don't know?
I think that if it's harming themselves or others, then yes, that would be immoral.
Okay.
Like, if their parents knew about this and it destroyed their family, then yeah, that would be immoral.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because how would that violate bodily autonomy? Who cares what their parents know and it hurts their feelings? Who gives a shit? Do you care about if your parents care about your sexual relationships?
If it destroyed my family, I think they would care. Yeah.
That's inherently immoral if you engage in a relationship your parents don't agree with.
Well, it's not just that they.
I conflict with this between two parents that have kids and then they want to create what is considered stepbrothers, stepsisters. In this present climate we're in right now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and you're not gonna like this. That shit ain't gonna work. Reason why? Because it depends on the age, roughly. They're not biologically aligned with each other. They are two different people from two different parents. They are not, entwined. A boy and a girl, depending on the age when they first met during the union of their parents, right? If we want to go with it, right? They're gonna have some attraction toward each other. They're gonna have intercourse. This is gonna be the natural polarity of the mating dynamics between boys and girls, especially if they're not biologically the same. So, in regards to morality, you're going to get away from morality and know saying that if they're two different people that are not really related through blood, by all means, they are going to exchange. It is what it is, and that's just the hard, honest truth. So, in regards to the step parents and the kids, you put your kids in a very sticky situation, and trust me, they're gonna be screwing. Let's go.
I don't agree with it. It's that it would destroy their family.
I can make the same argument for a homosexual child. Oh, you're having a homosexual relationship and we're heavily religious, so that destroyed our whole family.
Yeah, but that's on the basis of choice. Like, religion is a choice.
Both of these are based on choice.
No, you can't really choose who's your brother.
You can choose to fuck him.
Yeah, that's true. But you can't choose who's your brother. You can choose who, you can choose to have an issue with homosexuality. That's a choice.
Both are choices.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's gross and wrong.
Well, it's not wrong, right? It's just, is it immoral?
I mean, it's not violating their personal bodily autonomy, but it's wrong.
Okay, what does that mean then, wrong? Does wrong mean immoral?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Andrew?
I'm asking, I want an answer and then I'll give you my answer. But for the
Okay.
love of God, answer a question.
Okay, I'm going to say that there are limits to bodily autonomy and that is immoral. How's that?
So then, what is the limits to bodily autonomy?
I would say if you're harming yourself or others, that would be a limit on
Then demonstrate the
bodily
harm,
autonomy.
the bodily harm to themselves.
Well, I mean, they would be completely disgraced by society. That's a pretty
So
significant harm.
if I completely disgrace myself in front of society, that's immoral?
Yeah, you're harming yourself. That's
What?
self-harm. You don't think so? Like if you were to run around the streets naked and get
Do you
arrested,
think that at
would
first
be-
Martin Luther King was embarrassing himself in front of society? Because at first I think he was, until he wasn't.
Oh my God! Do you think Martin Luther King was embarrassing
Until he
himself?
wasn't.
Do you think that Martin Luther King is a moral equivalency to fucking?
No,
your
I'm doing an internal
brother?
criticism in order to get you to understand that the concept that you just gave me was, if society considers you and your viewpoints cringe, that's bodily harm. Do you realize how crazy that is to say out loud?
No, but society is not considering incest cringe. That's different.
Yes, that's all they're doing is considering
no,
it
incest
cringe.
is different than demanding human rights for black people.
Bro, why, I don't know why you...
Because you brought up MLK. Why
Because
I'm
I'm giving an example of if society socially found you to be super cringe, you're saying that that is self-harm.
I think that it would be self-harm to destroy your relationship with your family and ostracize your... Oh, do you want me to... I think that it would be self-harm to destroy your relationship with your family and to ostracize yourself from society for the purpose of having sex with your brother.
Okay, would that apply to just regular homosexuality?
Yeah, I agree. That was a terrible example. I totally agree with that. Let's go.
If you were in a religious community and that was your community, or perhaps you're in a religious nation or state, and you decided to engage in homosexuality and that destroyed your family, all of society went against you, that is now the same, the same principle of self-harm. How would that not equally apply?
Homosexuality is not a choice. Having sex with your brother is a
Having
choice.
sex as a homosexual is a choice.
So you don't think that any homosexual should be allowed to have sex so long as their family
Do you understand
disagrees
that when
with
you
it?
just continuously say, so you believe when I ask you a question,
But
that is the cringiest thing that you do. Anytime I ask you a question, you just say, so you believe that blah, blah, blah.
Well,
I'm
then
asking
why don't
you
you
a
bother
question.
to share your freaking beliefs? Then I
Look,
don't have to ask you
I
and
literally
probe
just
you.
got
You
done.
refused. I mean, even the last one,
I
this one, you
literally just
refused
I went
to
through
share
all of
an
my views.
opinion.
I just went through all of my views on this and we agreed, and now we're on bodily autonomy. So the
then
thing
why
is,
are we even-
please answer my question and stop obfuscating. Stop evading.
Okay,
Stop
I will
lying.
answer your question. Shush. Homosexuality is biologically natural. Like, it's a natural part of a homosexual human's biology. It's not something that can change. Your choice to disagree or be disgusted by homosexuality can change. However, your brother... Having sex with your brother is not a human necessity. Even if you are a homosexual, you don't have to choose to have sex with your brother. Therefore, you are causing emotional and physical harm to your family. However, being gay is not a choice.
So if it's the
Do you think
My good sweet Naima, I have to say that is a lie. Right now, how we look at the so-called homo LGBTQ agenda, it is not only pushed, but it's not chemically induced. So this thing about saying you're biological is nonsense. No, everything's orchestrated and constructed and created for the purpose of controlling population. If you go back in history, like we really look deep in history, right? There's always consequence in nature when you do immoral acts. Now we could say this is a natural phenomenon. If it's so natural, why is people, even back then and different now, do two things: imprison you or put you to deletion? It because they know what happens if you fall in the cracks and engage in what is called the LGBTQ activities. And now, we live in America now, and they change up now, so there's no really consequence. I think there's more reward now being that direction anyway, but that's another story. So really, truly, it's not something that you're biologically inherit to be, So I don't know where you get that, baby. You're going to have to do some research now how people are pushing to be, gay. Let's go.
that being gay is
So if it's the case that would you agree with me the definition of homosexuality is attracted to the same sex for purposes of sexual intercourse or something like this?
Yes.
Great. So then if it's the case that you're attracted to your twin brother, is that a choice?
To act on that attraction is a choice.
Well, then I would say the same thing about homosexuality, wouldn't I?
But it's not like you can choose who specifically you are attracted to, but the sex of the person
You can't
you're attracted
choose
to is not a
specifically
choice.
who you're attracted to. That's insane.
Really?
You can choose who you're attracted to.
You don't think that there's any personal
If you can
preference
just
involved
choose
in
who you're
choosing-
attracted to, then why can't homosexuals just choose to be attracted to women?
You can't
Can you answer that?
Specific person.
Yeah, why can't-
Not the general sex of all people you're attracted to.
So you can choose. You can choose people you're attracted to.
Andrew, some of them, but not all of them. Like,
So
not
if
the
you're
entirety
attracted,
of
so
the
if you're
sex.
attracted to your twin brother, right, and attraction is something you can't help, that's your justification for homosexuality, then
No.
what is the immorality here?
I think that an attraction to a specific sex or gender is something you cannot help. But an attraction
Why not a specific
to
person?
a specific person is something you can
How? How do you help who you're attracted to? How?
Really? You've never been attracted to someone and been like, ugh, I just don't want, like, I don't like them? Like, you've never done that?
Do you realize that you just refuted yourself?
You've never
How do
been
you
able
help
to
who
cha-
you're attracted to? You say you've never been attracted to somebody, and then that already presumes you're attracted to them.
Yes, you can choose not to be attracted to someone
You
who
can't
you were at one
choose.
point
You can
attracted
choose who
to.
you're attracted to.
I mean, I can. Maybe you're just like,
You can?
Maybe I'm just built different. I don't know, man.
Okay. Do you think most people can choose who they're attracted to?
I think that the majority of people can decide on a singular individual whether or not they're attracted to them. Yes.
Are you serious?
Not based entirely, like, you can't decide what sex you're attracted to.
Then why can't
but I think
homosexual
you
men
can-
just choose to not be attracted to all other men?
Did you just hear what I said? You cannot decide what sex you are attracted
No,
to.
no, no. They're attracted
But
to
you
the sex.
can
I know they're attracted to the sex, but why can't they just choose to not be attracted to every man?
You cannot choose, because I'm answering your question. You cannot choose which sex you're attracted to.
They're
But you
attracted to the
can
sex,
choose
but they're
which
choosing not to be attracted to
individual-
every man.
I'm using sex by gender.
I am
Yes.
too. I'm using. Listen,
Okay.
I'm so.
So then what the fuck are you
here,
talking
look.
about?
It's simple. They're attracted to only men.
This red herring is
But because
going
it's
way
not a
out.
red herring.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes,
so
it
they're
is.
so they're able.
Hold on, let him
I'm
finish.
It's a
internally
random argument.
critiquing.
Hold on,
I'm internally critiquing bodily autonomy.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And all you do is run. So the thing is like, look, this is super simple. Why couldn't you be attracted to an entire sex, right? But since you say individual attraction, right, is something which can be helped, then you're only attracted to males as a homosexual. But shouldn't you be able to control being attracted to every single individual male who is in that homosexual category?
No, because individual attraction is different than your sexuality. It's a specific person versus an entire sex. Do you
Yeah,
not understand the difference
so
between
then you
those things?
individualize them, and each individual person in that sex category you choose not to be attracted to.
No, that would be impossible.
Why?
Because it's biological.
So then, if you can't help who you're attracted to,
You cannot
that's the
help-
justification for homosexuality. Why couldn't that be the
No.
justification for an incestuous
Because you
relationship?
don't understand the difference between a sex and an individual. You can choose the individuals you decide you want to be attracted or not attracted to, but you can't decide the entire sex you decide to be
No,
attracted
you're attracted to the entire sex, but why couldn't they just say that they're not attracted to each and every individual in that sex and choose that?
Because that's the entire sex. If it's all of them, then that's still the sex.
Well, then-
if it's every individual, then that's the sex.
Then your argument's circular the other way too.
It's not circular the
Yeah,
other
if they
way,
only have
Andrew.
one brother.
Your argument is
if you
circular
only
the
have
other
one
way.
brother and you're only
You know, I noticed that too. He did walk into that trap, or he walked her into that logical trap. She can't get, and she not supposed to get out because most women nowadays too emotional. They don't use logic. They gotta go by their feelings. It make me feel a way. I feel. No, what does your head say? Not what you feel, baby. Feelings got you screwed up. It don't get you nowhere. We want to do with the logic. Doesn't make sense. Can we relate? Those are questions you should ask yourself, baby. All right, let's keep going.
attracted to your brother, right? Or you're only attracted to your family members,
But that's
or you're
not
only attracted to
biological.
that.
Let each other finish.
If it's the case that you're only attracted to your family members, right? How can you help that?
What version of sexuality is one where you are only attracted to your family?
Actually, there is a version of it. Would you like Brian to pull it up?
What the fuck is that?
Pull it up, Brian.
What do you want
do
me
you
to
call a person who's only attracted to family members?
An incestophile?
I think so.
An incestophile.
Well, we'll find out.
I mean,
we'll
that
get the
sounds like a
exact.
mental illness above anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you have to make a justification for why two twin brothers couldn't have sex with each other and why that would be immoral based on your bodily autonomy argument that everybody should have bodily autonomy. You'd
Well,
have to demonstrate the harm.
Yes, there's still bodily autonomy, but you would be harming your entire family as well as yourself.
I
You
can
would
make the
be.
same argument for homosexuality.
Yes, but homosexuality is not a choice. Fucking your brother is.
Do you want the definition? or not the definition, the term. I believe
the
this is the term. I don't know if this rings a bell. Consanguinous.
Yeah.
Consanguinous. Consanguinamorous.
Yeah.
A person who in a consensual romantic or sexual relationship with an adult blood relative. Consanguinamorous.
Okay.
That's-
I tried my best.
Your family all.
Wait,
Here.
I want to know what percentage of the population
Let's
is
try.
consanguinamorous?
Let's try this.
Like, is this
You
like
got it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
By the way.
Is this a large group of
What
people?
Percentage?
No, I'm sure it's very small.
It's probably
It's
small.
got to be.
So-
So then why are we talking
because
about
it's-
this? When
we're
comes-
testing
No, actually, I want
to finish it. I'm almost done.
Redirect the conversation.
We can,
back
and I'm
to
almost
general
done. I just
bodily
want to ask
autonomy.
one last question.
I think it's weird that we've been so focused on
One last
these
question
two
on
twin
bodily autonomy.
incest
Just to be
brothers.
fair, I searched her thing up. So globally, it says about 20% of the world's population lives in communities where consanguineous marriage is preferred, with a rate of 20 to 50% in parts of the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia.
They're all immoral, right?
So in those countries, it's well. I mean, if
They're all immoral, right?
hold on, can I ask you a question?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, wait. I want to go back to more research on this. I feel like I can't give you a good answer because I don't really know anything about it.
Well, there's also cousin marriage worldwide.
Yeah, because are we talking about like the cultural tradition of marrying your cousins or having incest with a sibling in a society
Well,
that
let's
does
just.
not accept?
Well, here, I'll just make it simple.
consanguinamority?
I'm just going to make it super easy. The question: your whole family dies in a tragic accident except your twin brother. So now you can't destroy them emotionally because they're all dead. Is it okay or moral then to have a twin brother incestuous relationship based on your principle of bodily autonomy?
I guess if you're not hurting anyone, including yourself, then sure. But I don't think that this negates the basic belief that bodily autonomy is a human right. Because I do think the consequences of living in a society where bodily autonomy doesn't exist are far greater. I mean, if nobody has a right to bodily autonomy, then at any point, any of us would be able to just fuck with each other and physically harm each other.
But don't you want to
without
restrict bodily
consequence.
autonomy constantly?
What?
Don't you want to restrict bodily autonomy constantly?
In what universe do I want to restrict?
Well, I
bodily
don't know. Did you
autonomy?
support the lockdowns?
Did I support the? Well, that again is an exception in the case of creating harm to yourself or others.
Well, wasn't that
Those are the two exceptions.
Wasn't that a subjective harm?
Millions of people died. Is that subjective to you?
Well, I mean, it's a subjective harm that you lock people in their homes or lock down their businesses.
Millions of people died, though. It's
Yeah.
not subjective that those people died. They objectively died.
Yeah, but I mean,
Did you know
here's-
anyone who lost
here's the
anyone during
problem.
COVID?
Yeah, of course.
It was brutal, man.
Yeah, of course. But the
How
thing
could
is,
you argue that
how could it be so you don't really believe in a principle of bodily autonomy?
But it's foreseeable risk. Like, there's a foreseeable risk that if you go outside while there is a contagious, deadly disease, and you continue to spread that contagious, deadly disease,
So-
you could foreseeably cause
so
bodily
bodily
harm to somebody else.
autonomy should be restricted as long as we can justify that there's some sort of harm to other people. Is that right?
Yes, to an extent.
To an extent.
I think that there are certain exceptions, but I think on a general principle, yeah, I agree with that.
So why shouldn't we stop women from having an abortion if half of us perceive the harm of it?
Well, because you haven't proven that that's a legitimate
Why do we
harm.
need to? All we have to do is perceive it that way.
No, you have to prove that there's legitimate
Then
harm.
why do we care about this?
Foreseeable risk, like on a legal sense, you have to be able to prove
Then
that
why-
there's a foreseeable risk.
then why do we care about you
You can't just
to
go based off vibes.
Then why is it that we care about you hurting your entire family because it hurts yourself again? Because that's just perception.
Because there was a proven foreseeable risk. Like legally, there was a proven foreseeable risk that going outside could potentially cause bodily harm. And by the way,
Isn't
people
going outside all
Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoying the intensity of this. I can't never call this debate or tongue lashing. For those that's watched, do you think Naima really holds her in the bargain and holds her, her strength against Andrew Wilson in regards to these debates? The debaters about feminism, sexism, hell, even about masculine and feminine principles. When you debate Andrew, and Andrew does have a school to teach how to debate effectively, you gotta know what you're doing, man. I think most people jump into the lion's den, and don't know that the lion is very thirsty and hungry, and they'll eat you and devour you. If not careful, I think Naima step into the den, and she's getting devoured as we speak. It's actually, but Y'all guys be the judge. I'm just here speculating. Let's continue.
Always potentially
But by
something
the
that
way,
can cause bodily
Andrew,
harm.
I mean, I was also alive during COVID. People still left their houses all the time. People threw parties. Like people did tons of stuff.
They
During
resisted.
COVID.
They resisted the state-sponsored bullshit. That's true.
But it wasn't a mandate. Like it wasn't forcing you to.
They
be
did
inside.
force
The
businesses
lockdown
to
was
shut
not-
down. Yes, they did.
Okay, well, you could still go
And
outside
they had,
though.
and progressives wanted COVID passports. Where are your paper checkpoints? Right? Very fascist dystopian.
So that you can't spread a disease that was killing people.
So then restricting.
Do you think that you should just be allowed to spread a disease?
Well, I
and
think
kill as
that
many people as
your
possible?
principle of bodily autonomy is making less and less sense because it seems
No.
like as long as we subjectively can claim that you're going to do something which we perceive as being harmful, then we can restrict your bodily
But you
autonomy.
don't- No, it's not subjectively can claim. It's objectively can claim.
Oh, we can
As
objectively
long as
claim
you
it.
can objectively claim that there is either foreseeable risk of causing bodily harm or you are actively causing bodily harm to yourself or others, then an individual deserves bodily autonomy.
Then why don't we restrict swimming pools?
Why would we restrict
Because
swimming
there's a massive foreseeable risk that you're going to cause harm to yourself, your family, or other people who come swimming.
pools? I don't think there's a massive foreseeable. Also, that's why we have lifeguards.
There's a much bigger chance that your percentage as an individual would die probably in a swimming pool than from COVID-19.
But swimming pools are voluntary. We're not forcing everyone to go into a swimming pool.
This is so funny to me. I thought it was about bodily autonomy, not
Yes.
about not about anything else.
Yes, swimming pools are voluntary.
And you want to restrict
if you
bodily
forced
autonomy.
everyone to go into a swimming pool, then yeah, that'd be.
Then why wasn't it voluntary for me to walk into a fucking shop if I wanted to without a mask on?
Well, the shop voluntarily chose to close. If you wanted to open,
They
your own
didn't.
shop,
The
you
state
could.
mandated that they close.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks, but.
Restriction of bodily autonomy. Like all of your principles are completely fucking incoherent. They're all incoherent.
No, I'm not. No, it's not. There's
It
still
is.
a foreseeable risk. There was a foreseeable risk that people were going to
There's
die.
foreseeable risk with everything.
I mean, but also, Andrew, like if you were to open a store during COVID and a bunch of people went to your store, got COVID, and died, they would sue the fuck out of you. I think a
Isn't
lot of
it
those
their
businesses
choice?
would.
Isn't it
be
people's
closed
choice?
anyway?
Isn't it people's choice? Just like the swimming pool.
Just like the swimming pool, going into a restaurant and opening yourself to foreseeable risk. Yes, and lots of people chose to do that.
And then why is it that you just 5 seconds ago said that these restrictions and the lockdowns were totally fine from the state mandating what people do voluntarily?
Brian, look up how many people died during COVID.
You just said the voluntary nature of swimming pools, why we don't restrict them even though they cause bodily harm. Why is the voluntary nature of people engaging in society during COVID not the same?
Because you don't voluntarily spread disease. You can't be like, hey, I'm not going to spread disease to that guy because he's immunocompromised. I'm going to
That
keep
guy
my
had the
COVID
choice
over
to stay
here."
home or go out, right?
But you live with other people. That was the issue. If
We
some
don't-
members of a family went out and then some left and then came back and exposed their immunocompromised family members to the illness, they could die.
Then the problem you have
Like, dude,
again
COVID
with
sucked. It was a bummer and it was horrible for businesses.
This is
But
so
I would
funny.
rather have to stay inside or go to a park or go to a public space
Yeah.
than risk killing my grandma and the other immunocompromised people in my life.
Should people who all voluntarily
But that's why the
if
shot
people,
was voluntary.
If people are always voluntary, well, progressives
How
didn't
many
want it to
people
be.
died from COVID?
7 million.
So 7
Yeah.
million people died, Andrew.
Yeah, how many
You don't
people
think
die
that's
every year
enough-
of the common flu?
Sure.
You don't think that's enough of a foreseeable risk?
Let's see how many people die from the common flu.
Wait, are we talking U.S. or just?
The one I provided, the 7 million, I believe that was worldwide.
And that
Can
was
we
for
do
how many years?
Let's do just U.S. for
Hold
both.
on. Just US for both, 1 sec.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because we're talking about the U.S. I mean, other countries don't have the same access to medical, health. as
Some
we
of them
do.
have much better.
Yeah, I know. It's a
So
bummer.
globally, the estimates that seasonal flu causes about 290,000 to 650,000 deaths each year.
That
That's a
seems
lot
like a
less
worldwide.
than 7 million.
That's worldwide.
That's worldwide, and
Wait,
that seems like a lot less.
calm down.
Wait, so can we do U.S.?
yeah. Calm down.
I'll do US.
There's no uh-oh.
Whoa, Andrew, I think you're wrong.
That's a foreseeable risk, isn't it?
I don't think statistically it's a high enough foreseeable risk. How many people get the flu every year?
Wait a second. How many people do you think 7 million people is as a percentage of the global population?
Well, isn't the global population like 8.2 billion?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a range, but 2022, 2023, the CDC estimates about 21,000 deaths due to influenza in the USA.
Okay.
And then you wanted me to look something up?
Yeah, but hang on.
Wait, no, let's
You
keep
got to do
going.
you got
I do want to say something about this, about preventive measures, so there's no loss of casualty. You're not going to prevent casualties. It is a part of nature itself. Now, in regards to what they're talking about, this, vaccine and this COVID nonsense, right? That they did this by default to run that little game experiment on population. Because let's be fair, honest, guys. When the lockdown happened, 5 years ago now, a lot of things were done to see how people reacted. And I'm saying personally, a lot of human beings have failed a test when they put out these things to see where your mindset, how you operate, how you maneuver. Now, most people ignore it and still operate through society, knowing that they said this thing will affect you and potentially take your life. Those are probably smart ones, unlike the others that, comply. You got what you deserve. Some her stories, something happened to them, some didn't. But overall, you always got to question a lot of things when things like this happen. And I think enough people that have brains started to question what was going on, while the rest of them just operate like sheep. So regardless, who gone, who's here. I mean, that's irrelevant to the point that why it was here in the first place. Right? We know how it got here. Let's go.
Got to do that not during the COVID lockdowns. That's the important part.
Wait, no, let's keep going.
Because during the COVID lockdowns, they reduced significantly.
You want me to check?
Oh,
like,
wow,
the
isn't that
2010s?
nice?
Yeah, true.
like
If you
those
lock people in their
lockdowns-
houses, they won't spread any illness. That's
Yes,
true.
that was the point. There was multiple illnesses going around that were subjecting people to a
So what
serious
percentage
risk.
what percentage is reasonable for us to implement against bodily autonomy when it leads to death? Is 7 million people yearly?
Well, I think you have to ask a lawyer, Andrew.
I'm
'cause
asking
there is
you.
actually a legal precedent for that.
I'm asking you.
Well, I'm not a lawyer. You should ask a legitimate
I need to
lawyer.
ask a lawyer how many people you think it's legitimate to restrict their bodily autonomy for?
Well, it's a law. Like, it's a literal law.
You don't base your morals on law. You're basing them on bodily autonomy.
No, I'm basing it on the concept of, I'm basing bodily autonomy on the concept of foreseeable risk, which is a law. So why would you
So
ask me
650,000 a year isn't enough of a foreseeable risk?
that? Worldwide?
Yeah.
I would say no if
Well,
there's 8.2 billion people
Why
on
7
Earth.
million if there's 8.2 billion?
Do you not know the difference between 650,000?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the threshold breaker here is.
It's a lot bigger. Well, it's not up to me.
Well, but I'm asking because of bodily autonomy. You support this stuff.
Yes, I support saving people's lives. by
Yeah,
staying
so
inside during-
where's the threshold where we can lock people down and restrict their bodily autonomy?
Well, there is a legal threshold.
What
Why
is
don't
your
you ask a
threshold?
lawyer? I don't.
don't have
know.
one.
Well, it's
Yeah,
based
you
on a
don't know.
legal precedent. Why should every single individual person just get to decide? I think it's this. I'm not a lawyer.
This is so ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous, Andrew.
Okay.
What is
Shall
the
we,
point of
switch
asking
prompts?
Yeah, we
me
can
a
switch.
Shall we,
legal
let's switch prompts.
definition when I'm not a lawyer?
What do you guys think about this one? Black people can be racist towards white people. Would you guys like to do
Yeah,
that
I'm
one?
fine with that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that before we move on, should we define racism?
Yeah.
How do you
The
define
semantics?
racism? Yeah, we should just get the semantics out of the way so we can actually have a conversation. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
so-
it
It's
keeps
okay, you're fine.
annoying me.
So I would do I have a more classical definition,
Okay, let's hear it.
which would be the hatred or bigotry of an entire race.
Is that it? Hold on. So the hatred or bigotry of an entire race on the basis of what? Race?
Or most of the race.
On the basis of race, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's your only definition of racism?
Yeah, I think that, yes.
Okay, cool. Do you mind if I pull up the dictionary definition of racism?
Well, you can pull up whatever you want, sure.
Okay, well, so I think there's two main types of racism that are involved in what you just said. So what Andrew just described perfectly was interpersonal racism, which is prejudice, discriminatory actions between individuals based on their hatred of the entire race. And then there's also what we see in this country, which is systemic and structural racism, which is, again, since we have to define systems, a complex system of laws, policies, and practices that create and perpetuate racial inequality. So this would be essentially the patriarchy, but on the basis of race, if we're going back to our definition of the patriarchy. Now, where I agree with Andrew is that anyone can be interpersonally racist.
Okay, well, then that's the end of that prompt.
No, it's not. because there are multiple forms of racism.
What's the prompt,
And
Maya?
the power.
Read the prompt.
Blacks can be racist towards white. I mean, dude, we agreed on the last prompt and we still talked about it for like another hour. So let's get into it.
Well,
I mean,
hang on. I just want to make sure
Yes.
that can you read the prompt, Brian?
Yes.
Yeah, black people can be racist.
And you're
towards white
agreeing that
people.
that's the case.
I just read that.
Okay.
Yes.
Shall we move to a different prompt? Now?
No, I think we should continue with this one. I actually
Well, if you
really
both
wanna-
agree, then.
It was the one that I thought was the most interesting. I mean,
So you
I
want to
guess
talk
all
about
right.
systemic racism? We can.
I guess
Go
if
ahead.
you don't want to move on, if you want to move on to another prompt, we can. But all I will say is, although blacks can be racist towards whites, the system that perpetuates inequality works in favor of white people. So while yes, it might hurt your feelings, it doesn't have a broader impact on your life, like genuinely decreasing your quality of life and standard of living. It's not backed by any power.
Why don't I read some of the other prompts? And if you want to return to this one, we can.
Okay.
So we have feminism enslaved women instead of liberating them.
That one I think is hilarious. I would be down to do that one.
Women just as violent as men, if not more. Problems with democracy. Forced doctrine, the descriptor.
Let's do women more violent.
Do you-
Okay.
It sounded like you wanted the feminism
I'll do
enslaved
either one of
women,
those.
but-
I like both of
Okay,
them.
so we'll do. Let's do feminism enslaved women instead of liberating them, or are you really keen on the?
I don't care
women
either
just-
way.
Okay,
Neither
we'll
one
do
matters.
both.
But I would it's 5:30. Just real quick, take a smoke break and then get back to this while you take some super chats.
I'm team.
Yeah.
The one thing that we
do
can agree on today
While
is
we
the smoke
have-
breaks. I love
Can you
it.
guys do it simultaneously though?
No, because part
Just
of it is
for
a
the
break from
sake-
the
I'll be super
debate.
quick.
Well, what's that?
No, because part of it is you get a break from the debate, some fresh air, clear your head, come back, be locked in.
Yeah, I'll take 5
Yeah.
minutes.
So what
Can we
we'll
do each get a 5?
You'll have 5, but Nick can bring you somewhere
yeah.
else. Okay, just go with Nick. You got it. Yep. All right, guys, they're taking a brief break. They're each smoky man bad, smoky girl bad. They're just going to take a quick smoke break. So really quick, guys, as soon as they come back, we'll actually do a Q&A session super quick. So if you guys want to get in a...
I'm going to fast forward, but let me check what's going on in the chat room. Okay, everybody's quiet. Looks like everybody's quiet. Hold on. Let's check us some. All right, let me keep going. Let me see where this goes. Let me run this. And we're at 2 hour 15-minute mark, so I'm trying to check how much for. And oof. No, I don't want to hear these guys talk. Yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward, guys. I'm just gonna fast forward. Make sure you guys tune in for next live stream. I'm gonna do the breakdown between another content creator and a woman that surfaced back on YouTube again, and he kind of won his claim, and I'm gonna probably do some content on that. So stay tuned on to that. Make sure you got likes, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit your top notification bells for all uploads, live streams here on the Chaos Rain Show as well. So be on the lookout for that. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, that's not good. All right, let me see. All right. Yeah. And I'm just looking back and forth on my. I ain't writing no notes for this. Now I think about it. Oh, well. All right. Let's go.
Orthodox debaters. God bless. Sorry if too personal of a question.
Is this directed
Thanks
at
for your platform.
Is that him? Or me?
No, I see you, baby.
I believe it's directed to you?
What do I think about the Orthodox faith? I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Whatever floats your boat. Like Orthodox Christianity, Orthodox Judaism,
Christianity.
Christianity.
Orthodox Christianity.
I think that's for you. Scuba Bear, appreciate it. We have a
A
question.
message from the government of Canada.
Oh boy.
Oh my God, not
George
Patsy
donated
George.
$200.04.
Dude, this man is gonna drain his.
Brown
Don't you feel
Locks,
kind of bad? for these
slavery
people?
was good, and I'll let
He's
you
a
know
Giga
why.
Chad.
If slavery
Is he a
had
Giga
never
Chad?
existed, we wouldn't have
don't
the
think a Giga
innovative
Chad would be
music we have
listening.
today, minus the devolving rap for brain-dead thug wannabes.
What is he talking about? If slavery would have never existed, we wouldn't have. So you think we should have slavery is justified because it made good music?
Should I disavow that? I don't know. Do you want to?
Come on, Brian, that was a rough one. Like, you gotta admit, that was just stupid.
Hey,
I mean, that is maybe props to you, Patsy. I think that is one of the worst justifications.
Pasty.
Oh, not Patsy?
Not Patsy, not
Oh,
Pasty.
it's Pasty. Sorry.
Yeah, you can call him George or Pasty.
Pasty. I
or
think
PG.
I
He
like
likes
Pasty.
PG.
Props to you, Pasty. I think that might be one of the worst justifications for slavery I've ever heard.
Mr. Fernan Garcia, thank you, man, for the super chat. If morality is subjective, I think suffering is good. Hypothetically, I have a big army and more willing and capable to enact force than you. Outside of God, how am I wrong?
Well, I don't think morality is subjective. So I think morality is based on natural law, which is objective.
Oh, I forgot to read this. One person writes, no, she just wants to be a liberal as possible. She's losing bad. Yeah, she is losing bad. I agree with that. All right. Make sure you hit the like button.
All right, guys, if you want to get the message in, again, $200 Q&A. Let's get into the next prompt, though. Welcome back, everybody. All right, do you guys both smoke Marlboros, by the way?
No, I smoke Turkish Royals.
I see, okay. Do you have thoughts on
Hey, man,
you guys want to debate the best
You're young for that. You don't look
Cigarette?
cigarette.
You smoke Cowboy Killers?
Yeah.
I don't hate them. I feel like everyone starts with Marlboro, so I feel like they're kind of basic. I feel like the Marb Golds are better, but
All right,
I don't spice my food either.
so
you don't spice your food.
I'm kidding. It's I'm memeing. It's a meme.
next prompt.
Oh, I'm sorry. That just sounded like something you would do.
Feminism enslaved women instead of liberating them.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew. I think you got to start because I genuinely just want to
Yes,
hear.
Andrew, if you'd like to start
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah. So the first thing is I'm going to tell you all the things I don't consider to be slavery.
Okay.
So I don't consider not having voting rights slavery.
Okay. Do you want to just define slavery instead of telling me everything that's not slavery?
Yeah. Well, hang on. I will. I'll
Okay.
define that too.
Well, you just skip to the good part.
Calm down. So I don't consider not having voting rights to be slavery, and I don't consider having having certain social benefits instead of voting rights to be slavery at all. So I don't consider lack of suffrage or an inability for, like, I don't know, other things like higher education, things like this. I don't consider any of that to be slavery, even if it were the case that we didn't quibble over what that means.
I also don't think that those.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that women at the time of feminism were slaves at all. Okay.
I don't either. I mean, black women.
Do you want me
who were
to? Do you want me to
enslaved.
give the at the time of the 19th Amendment?
No, I thought you were talking about like during slavery,
What?
legitimate like American slavery. No.
What? No. What are you talking about? Anyway, so I don't consider women at the time of women's suffrage to have been slaves at all.
Okay.
I do, however, slavery is very nebulous. And Brian, if you can pull up a few definitions.
Sure.
I
and
could
we'll
just give you the Merriam-Webster definition. I literally wrote it down.
Yeah, but the problem is that there's a bit of nebulousness here that I think we need to clarify in the semantics for what slavery is.
Okay.
So go ahead and pull up the definitions, Brian.
Well, it's good. Okay, I mean, it's the state of being a slave.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
know if that's
not
particularly
good.
helpful.
Can I
The
give you
practice-
a definition?
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's what, because I know it's when you look it up, it's always the practice of being a slave, which is stupid.
Slave definition.
Here's what I would say. I would say forced and or involuntary labor without pay.
No.
You want me to
here's,
do that?
But here, no. Here's why. Here's why I would disagree.
Why?
Do you want to know why?
Sure, I guess I do.
Because I'm not sure that that encompasses another type of slavery.
What's the other type of slavery?
Well, indentured servitude.
Do you want me to read
that
the one?
is without pay, though. So it
no,
is
it's
encompassed
well,
in slavery.
not really. So
Yes, it is.
no, it's not. Just let me make the case.
Do you want me to read
Okay,
the
what? Do you know what indentured slavery even is?
Indentured slavery or indentured servitude?
They're the same thing.
Indentured servitude is when you essentially got a patron who would allow you to come to America
Mm-hmm.
or this country, and then you had to work off your time
debt.
spent, your debt for coming to this
So it
country.
wasn't without
through work.
pay.
Well, I think that it was essentially not enough money. Like
So
the amount, 7 years of indentured servitude is not equivalent to one.
Well,
boat
maybe
ride.
not. But
so I would say that's.
But
without
I
pay.
consider that slavery.
Okay.
And I consider that indentured servants who were coming in, I think that they were being paid. They were just all their pay was going to a debt. So that's the distinction that I would make there.
No, I agree with you. And I think that to that point, sharecropping would also be slavery because it was a similar, all of your money was going towards a debt. So you were not being paid.
So my basic argument here
I
is...
still think that we're agreeing on our definition, though. Can we
Okay.
just define our terms? Are
Do
we
you want
cool
me
with
to
that
read the few
definition?
definitions?
Yeah, sure.
Just for slave.
Mm-hmm.
One, a person who is forced to work for and obey another and is considered to be their property, an enslaved person.
Yes.
Next one, a person who works very hard without proper remuneration.
Remuneration?
I'm sorry.
Or remunerations?
Remuneration or appreciation. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
No, Brian, it's okay.
A person who is excessively dependent upon or controlled by something.
Mm-hmm.
An ant captured in its pupal state.
So hang on. The previous definition...
I do just want to say, Brian,
Read the
54%.
previous definition?
Yeah. I do just want to say, Brian, 54% of the population reads below a sixth grade reading level. So you're doing pretty good.
Thank you. A person who is excessively dependent upon or controlled by something.
A person who's excessively dependent or controlled.
I'm sorry, that was not flex if people only can read in the sixth grade reading level. That's by design because they're not teaching or really structuring or nurturing students to be able to read effectively. It's all political. It's all for a bigger agenda why most people can't read anywhere beyond sixth or even eighth grade read level. Because the more dumb you are, the more easy you're able to manipulate and control. That's it. Let's go.
I agree that that would be a form of slavery. So
Okay.
here's where my essential argument is.
Right.
Is that women could not incur debt. And I consider that a massive incurrence of debt, like what you would get with indentured servitude, that you then have to, you have to work doing things that your preference is definitely against doing, is a form of slavery. And so my argument here is that ultimately what has happened through the idea of all women need to go to college, which has been a massive feminist talking point, is that they're under crushing student debt, generally speaking, for degrees they don't even need. And I would say that that is not liberating at all. I would say that women have become debt slaves to the economy. And before feminism, they could not incur debt themselves under coverture laws. So I would say that they have a form of slavery, or at least more akin to a form of slavery, under state debt than was worth it for a right to vote that barely makes a significant difference anyway.
Okay. So to those points, I cannot speak for other feminists, but I will speak for myself. Nobody is forcing women to go to college under feminism. Like, yeah, sure, we are encouraging women, and part of the feminist movement was to fight for the right, or I guess fight isn't right, but to advocate for the right of equal education opportunity. But the difference is that it's not involuntary.
Yeah.
It's voluntary. Like a woman today
So was
could still
indentured servitude, and you agreed it's slavery.
Yes, but a woman today could still choose not to be a student and go
They
to
could choose
school
then not
and
to be indentured
engage in
servant.
higher education.
They could agree then not to be indentured servants. It's the same principle applied.
No, it's not the same principle because what
the
were they
same principle.
leaving? Like if you're leaving a potato famine, you don't really have an option. Either you're dying or you're now in.
You still have options, and it's your choice. And the same reason that many women will incur a massive amount of college debt is because they're trying.
You're conflating two things.
They're
that are
trying
not
to
at all
leave
similar.
terrible economic conditions. That's why they do it.
Yeah, of course. That's
So
why
I would
they do
argue
it.
that the burden of
feminism
these
is not
massive student loan
forcing.
programs, which are designed specifically to incentivize women to incur huge amounts of debt, which they do, has actually been more of a form of economic slavery than anything that they had pre-feminism under coverture laws, where they were not allowed to incur debt. They did not have debt, which
By the
they
way,
could incur.
under curvature laws, women were also not allowed to keep their earnings. All of the money that they made from doing literally anything had to go to their husbands.
That
But-
is not true,
It is.
especially with inheritances.
But going back to this belief that incurring debt through a university that you voluntarily choose to go to is somehow slavery, then wouldn't anyone who takes out a loan be a slave regardless of whether or not they're a man or a woman?
I think usury is real bad.
So
And
you
the
believe
idea,
that every single person who is going to college voluntarily and voluntarily taking student debt is now a slave to that university?
they are.
Okay, so either you don't understand slavery or you don't understand the higher education
then
system.
tell me what the distinction is.
This dumb bitch. What do you think? All right, let's play this game. Let's play this game right here. And don't let me have to go pull it up the numbers. It's more than D forever. If you do not pay your way or got a free ride to college through scholarships where you don't have to come out your wallet, by default, you're going to be put into what is considered debt to get what is considered a degree. Whether the degree is useless or not, if you didn't get a free ride to college, by default and by conclusion, you're going to put yourself in student loan debt. I don't care what they say, what they teach, or what they tell you. You know, people that don't get into student loan debt or student loan debt is the athletes. But every other student, unless you got a rich parents or your parents are well equipped financially to burden your degree, you're going in there with debt. The only time in America where you did not get into a lot of debt going to a four-year university was back in the 70s upward to the early 80s, roughly. And once the 90s came around, it flipped drastically. It shoot up the price of getting your four-year degree because tuition kept going up year on or every couple of years. It kept rising. Why is that? It's because they are perpetually make you a debt slave. Because they know you're not going to be able to afford or pay off a student loan. And I'm not sure what the maximum amount of student loan people pick or get during a four-year university. I'll guess right now, and I'm not going to really look it up. But I would say you rack up 20 or more in student loan debt. So I'm not sure what this woman's talking about because it's typical because you could tell she probably is a black woman, but let's go there. That you don't understand how debt is work, how debt is used against you now in America more than ever. Remember, Obama signed the act that you cannot default on student loan debt. As a matter of fact, it's good for you she mentioned this shit. Now I'm going to I'm going to pull it up for y'all to see for yourself. Hold on, let's keep going. Very serious. Yes, that was the whole end game. This was a process going on for the last 15 years, not the last 20 years, last 15 years, because when Obama came into office, he signed into ACT back in 2009. I remember there was a documentary that was on YouTube. I cannot find this documentary. I'm not sure if they removed it or pulled it out, but this document explains perfectly about student loan debt. All right, I'm going to let her continue with her foolishness.
And indentured servitude, which have the exact same qualifiers.
Well, the difference is, first of all, we're in a much different society
That's
in which
not an
higher education
argument.
is not
Give me the
required.
argument of the principle of indentured servitude, which is voluntarily taking out a huge sum of money and then paying it back through work, right? And you have to pay that money back, or else there's serious fucking penalties for that, just like there is for student loans. In principle, What is the distinction here? They're both voluntary.
The
Both.
principle is that under an indentured servitude, you're working for 7 years and your owner.
You're working for a lot longer than that,
are
often with
owned,
student
though.
debts.
It's the concept of ownership. You are not owned by a company.
No.
by
It
a
wasn't
college.
chattel slavery. You weren't owned the same way. No. But you were responsible to pay that debt off via the agreement of the contract, just like you are with one of these huge student loans for useless debt.
Look, I
and
think
hang on,
student
it's
loans
not
fucking
just that
suck,
debt.
but it's not slavery.
It's not
Andrew.
just
you
that
gotta
debt.
be so for real, man. It's not slavery.
Then you shouldn't have agreed that indentured servitude is slavery because it meets the same qualifiers.
It does not meet the same.
What's the
qualifiers.
distinction?
Because the owner of the indentured servant, and I'm going to use owner in this scenario.
They're not owned the
is-
same way as you owned to chattel slavery.
Yes, but during indentured servitude, they would often push the goalposts and be like, "Oh, you owe me more and more and more money."
They do it same way with compound interest rates from student loans.
But we understand the interest rate. It's up front.
They understood the interest rate because it was up front. That's
No,
why they
they
signed
didn't.
contracts. Yes, they had to adhere to the contracts the same
no,
way.
they didn't. Half of them weren't even literate.
Yes,
like, that's completely
they
different.
did. And just because people are doing things which are illegal, it was within the confines of the law. They had to adhere to the contract. These were supposed to be free white men. That's different than chattel slavery. That's why they had certain things afforded to them that were not afforded to chattel slaves. And my argument is...
So then I guess you've defeated your own purpose.
Yeah, you've made...
So you've argued against indentured servitude being slavery and
No,
college
I'm
debt being
arguing
slavery.
like you are that it was slavery.
You're conflating
and I'm
two
saying
things
that
that are
this is the
completely
same
different.
thing. It's a form of economic slavery along with the propaganda, which is trying to push women for useless degrees, especially, and giving them loans, which they didn't get penalties on. And they do get penalties.
So what is your solution, Andrew?
To what?
To eliminating the slavery
It
of
doesn't
college
need to
debt?
have a solution.
Well,
We
it
just
does.
need to agree that this is a form of economic slavery. That's it.
I don't believe it's a form of economic slavery because it's a choice.
Then neither was indentured servitude.
Okay, sure.
So indentured servants weren't slaves?
Fine.
Okay. I'm willing to, as long as you bite that bullet.
Next prompt?
Yeah,
I
next
mean,
prompt.
I guess that's why
Next
they
prompt?
called them indentured servants and not indentured slaves.
All right.
So you don't wait. So
Go ahead. We're going to
Andrew-
the next one. I'm
so
done.
wait, no.
I'm done.
Go back.
Hey,
so
yeah,
then
yeah.
are you?
We'll go to the next
wait, No,
one.
Andrew. Hold on,
let her ask.
Brian.
All right,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Pause.
I got it.
So then,
Let her
Andrew, if
ask the
I'm
question.
conceding that indentured servitude isn't slavery, then are you conceding that feminism isn't enslaving
No,
women?
I'm still literally gonna stick by the definition that
Okay, well,
almost
I think
all
your
sources
definition
would
of slavery
consider
is-
indentured servitude a form of slavery due to the crushing debt
No.
and the lack of choice that brought. I'm going to argue that the same thing is the case through all forms of crushing debt, which are brought by corporate or state bodies against peoples, forms of slavery that women did not have to deal with before feminism, that feminism introduced. Therefore, I think they're less free now than they ever were because of the word
First
debt.
of all, I don't think you can blame feminism for this.
They're the ones who
Feminism-
advocated for
but
it.
We're not forcing women to go to college. We're giving them the option
Okay.
of going to college. And
It doesn't matter
people can
what you
go
call
to
it.
college who can, like, what if a woman could just afford to go to college and she wants to go?
Until you can tell me the distinct criterion difference between the crushing debt of indentured servitude and the crushing debt of college loans, which are often targeted at minorities and people have very little in the way of means to pay these loans back, and they give them to them based on useless degrees,
I agree.
often, right?
I'm not arguing
I don't
any of these
understand
points.
how you could say that not only you would have to admit that not only is that's a bad thing, but how's that not a form of economic slavery?
Andrew, I'm not arguing any of these points. I'm arguing that this isn't the responsibility of feminism. Feminism created an option, but the concept of college debt was not made by feminism.
Who pushed for it?
Who pushed for
Who
college
pushed for
debt?
women to go to college and have it financed by the government?
No. Who pushed for who created college debt? Was it no.
Yes, feminists
So
pushed
feminists-
for women to
No.
go to college
But
and
that's-
take out student
so do you
loans.
not understand the
This is the
question?
third wave
Do you
feminist,
want me
by
to
the way.
understand the question?
Hold on, one at a
Do you want me to
time, please.
reiterate
Oh
the
my
question?
God, go ahead.
Who created college debt?
Created it?
Yes.
Financial institutions
Okay,
who
so
work
then
alongside
financial
the government.
institutions are the slavers,
No.
not feminists.
No, because it's feminist who. What's the prompt? That feminism.
All right, guys, I found it, and that's why I use many tools to help narrow my search. I'm not using another tool, but I found it, and I was dead on. Matter of fact, I'm waiting for a pull up. Let's keep playing.
Did more to enslave women than to free them.
And please, guys, support channel, hit the super chat. You know, you want to support your boy Chaos Rain. Come on, it's the holidays. Come on, guys, let's go.
Right, or to keep them, or give them more rights, or give them more freedoms in society. That's what we're talking about.
But you
and
can't
here's the
blame
truth.
feminists
I can and I am.
No, you
feminists
can't.
did.
Well, it's stupid.
Well, let me make the argument and then respond to it.
Sure.
Feminists did absolutely push for women in higher education. They pushed to have it financed by the state. And they, by the way, modern feminists still push it. Modern feminists right this second are still pushing that women go to college and take on college debt if necessary to get a degree. That's what they push more than anything, in fact.
What we were pushing is the right to go to college. The right. Do you understand that? Before feminism, women were not allowed to pursue
Yeah, I know.
a degree
You're
in
pushing
higher
for the right to
education.
indentured servitude.
We're not, okay, but we didn't create, feminism didn't create the quote-unquote indentured servitude.
They did.
Of the, no, we didn't.
You did.
Who created college debt,
If there
Andrew?
wasn't this massive,
This is the most circular-ass
if there
argument I've
wasn't
ever heard.
incentive, right, for these companies to create these diploma mills, because, and the only reason they're creating these diploma mills is because the student loan programs, which are coming out of the federal government.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's going on. I'm sure you
Yeah.
have student loans, and it sucks. Like, I'm sorry. That sucks. It does suck.
You know,
and
Andrew,
I'm sorry.
the saddest part is I agree with
And
you
I'm
on
sorry
most
that you're
of
being
this.
crushed under that weight, but I'm telling you right now that was not done by the malicious patriarchy. This is feminists, and feminists even currently, who really pushed hard that all women need to go to college. They all need to go. They all need to go. And all these student loans and the crushing debt now, and women are responsible for so much of that debt. I would argue that that is way worse, that these women now have to go work these menial fucking jobs and shit like this to pay back their student loans to the fucking federal government. It's so bad now
I know.
that now you have a new wave of feminists trying to come out and just ask for free everything. They're like, oh, just please, student debt forgiveness.
May I
They
talk?
crushed.
May I
Go
talk?
ahead.
I mean, Andrew, I completely agree with you. I mean, I'm literally having this conversation with you right now to pay
Yeah.
off my student debt. But my issue is that I don't think, like, all of these problems are real, but I don't think the blame and the onus is on feminists. I think the blame and the onus is on a capitalist system that is designed to fuck all of us. It's not even just women, it's men too. Like, men
Loans
also.
from the federal government isn't capitalism.
I mean, men are also. Oh.
No.
So you don't think
Loans
that,
are supposed to
you
come
don't
from
think
private
that the
equity
private
firms.
college fund
I don't
and
think
the
that.
push,
I don't think that private equity firms.
you don't think that these
No, private
diploma
equity.
mills
The diploma. Listen.
based on
The
capitalism?
private equity firms, right, would not be financing people who are going to school for fucking basket weaving, okay? Because their chance of getting paid back would be way less. It's because these loans are backed by the federal government that they're even possible, because equity firms would laugh at them. So the thing is like, look, as we look at this from the like bird's eye view, right? You and I agree that that system is fucked, okay?
Yes, I do.
And yes, absolutely, feminists push for that system in a big way. And my argument essentially is simple. It's just saying, and you know what? You can even caveat it. You could be like, you know what? Feminists did a lot of great things. This one wasn't it. And if you, as long as you're willing to make the concession, like, look, that sort of financial slavery is way worse than what they had pre-19th Amendment, because it is, then I think we have an accord and we can move to the next prompt.
I will. Can I do a closing statement?
Yeah.
And if you feel like we're done, then I'm good to be done with this one. I think the main.
No, you will not do no close thing, bitch. Let me read you what is about student loan debt. Let's do the rundown. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Oh, let me switch gears so y'all can see. We're gonna do the rundown of the student loan debt. It says here, by 2009, it was already established that you generally could not default out of student loan through bankruptcy. That's the one you cannot do. And there were a lot of people, I would say, in the last, since the 90s up to 2009, they couldn't pay or didn't want to make an attempt to pay off their loans, so they filed bankruptcy. You could not do that no longer in 2009. That's now 16 years ago. And remember, of the financial issues or crisis in America of 2008, a lot of rules, regulations had to, and I think during that same time, we are at zero interest rate at that time, starting back in 2008. That's 17 years ago now. And I don't know if we're still at zero interest rate, but this was one of the issues. A timeline. The key legal history are short and clear. 1976, Congress first made federal student loan harder to discharge in bankruptcy. Borrowers had to prove undue hardship. 1998, that's a period of 23 years later. 22 years later. My apologies. Congress removed the time limit entirely. Federal student loans became permanently non-dischargeable unless undue hardships was proven. Now, if there's a death in the family, you're disabled or whatever, some form of hardship, you are going to be discharged your debt from all that student loan you took. 2005, before of 2009, 4 years before this, Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act, BAPCPA. This law expand non-dischargeable the most private student loans. After 2005, both federal and most private student loans could not be discharged without undue hardship. And last, 2009, there was already a clear legal rule. You could not simply default and raise student loans via bankruptcy. This applies to federal student loans, most private student loans, and bankruptcy did not work the same way as credit cards or Medicaid debt. The only exception to undue hardship is this. To discharge a student loan borrower has to pass the Burner test, which is extremely strict. 1, you cannot maintain a minimal standard of living if forced to repay. Did y'all hear that? 2, your financial situation is likely to persist long term. 3, you made good faith efforts to repay, and very few people succeed. These are the exceptions for undue hardships that people cannot fulfill. Why this matters? Many borrowers in 2000 believe loans work like other debts. School and lenders often did not emphasize how permanent the debt was. This contributes to today's student loan crisis. Bottom line, by 2009, U.S. law clearly signals that student loans were effectively non-dischargeable for life for most borrowers. And that's it. I might go even more into this. So let me do this. Wait. Oh, there's more. My fault. I did not read this part. Okay, let me see. I gotta read this because there's more. There's more detail to this. How this ties into policy debates today. 1, you cannot escape debt models. By 2009, student loans have become lifetime debt for most borrowers. Hear that? Not short-term, lifetime debt. You're going to be indebted to the corporation. Lifetime debt for most borrowers. The only major consumer debt almost impossible to discharge, enforceable even after job loss, disability, old age, economic crashes like 2008. This is central to today's debt. Should education debt be treated differently from other forms of debt? B, borrower awareness, informed consent. One major argument today is borrowers were not clear told student loans were non-dischargeable, collectible, minimum wage garnish, tax refundable, social security offsets, etc. Especially true for 18 through 22-year-olds. This fuels arguments for stronger disclosure laws, consumer-style protection, treating student loans like mortgages or business loans. C, forgiveness for student reform. is divided, or today divide isn't just about forgiveness, it's about system design. Two camps. One, forgiveness advocates argue the system was predatory and one side, focus on relief after harm occurs. Two, structural reform advocates want bankruptcy reform, interest cap gaps, risk sharing for schools, argue forgiveness alone doesn't fix the system. The non-dischargeable rule is the backbone of both debts. D, radical and class impact. Policy analysis point out non-dischargeable debts has hardest on black borrowers. Non-dischargeable debts hits harder on black borrowers, first generation college students, low income family. Why? Less family wealth, fewer safety nets, higher default rates, harsh penalties. This is why student loan reform is now reframed as an economic issue, a civil equality issue, and a generational wealth issue, which this system don't want you to get generational wealth. Sorry. Number two, how courts treat student loan case in late 2000s. Courts were extremely strict. In the late 2000s, bankruptcy courts almost universally applied the Berners test. Interpreting is narrowly and harshly. Judges often rule poverty alone is not undue hardship. You might earn more in the future. You haven't suffered long enough. Even cases involve chronic illness, single parents, low-wage workers, most borrowers lost. The Berner test in practice, not theory. Requirements, minimal standard of living, long-term hardships, good faith. How courts interpret it, barely surviving wasn't enough. Had to prove nearly permanent hardship. Missing payments often count against borrowers. Courts often say, you choose this debt. Education is an investment. Risk is on the borrower. Rare wins were extreme cases. A few success discharge usually involves several disabilities, terminal illness, advanced age with no employment prospect. Even then, partial discharge was more common than full discharge. Many judges were reluctant to set precedents. Private loan confusion after 2005, which is the same thing, BABCP, Courts often misclassify private loan as non-dischargeable even when they don't legally qualify. Persistent through the late 2000s, is now being challenged successfully in some modern cases, meaning some borrowers were denied relief incorrectly. And number three, why this era still shapes today's reality. Court sets a culture of non or near automatic denial. Lenders rely on the certainty schools raise tuition knowing loans were guaranteed. Borrowers borrow all downside risks. The legal environment is what policymakers are trying to unwind, slowly and imperfectly today. Bottom line, late 2000s courts treat student loan as a moral obligation, not a consumer contract. That mindset locked millions into lifelong debt, not short-term, lifelong. Still drives today's debt debate over forgiveness, bankruptcy, reform, and accountability. So let that sink in, guys. I just want to read that late out because to redefeat the purpose by Naima about this thing about debt, student loan debt, and the importance of education and schools not locking your debt. That is all false. That's lie. I know personally. Anybody that go to college, like most people that have went to college or whatever case, have taken a loan, have been putting themselves in debt, and some still in debt today. We know people that are professors that went to school, took hella debt, many loans, and still owe debt. I know one professor, maybe two, maybe one, remember, still is paying off student loan, and she got a doctorate. Let that sink in. Just let that sink in, people. All right. Thank you for that. I just want to lay that out. Let's continue with the videotape. This videotape's almost done, guys, so let's continue.
That I will make is that feminism was not about forcing women to go to college, but before feminism, women physically could not go to college. It was about creating equal opportunity, because although colleges are fucked with the way that they absolutely steal from students by proliferating college debt.
Do you consider that a form of financial slavery?
Yes, but some degrees are actually worthwhile.
Look.
And women should have the right to pursue those degrees as well.
I just want to point out that
it's the inequality that feminists are fighting against. But in no universe are we trying to force every single woman to go to college, even if they don't want to and it doesn't make financial sense for them. No one is advocating for that. I am an avowed feminist, and I would never say that to another woman.
So anyway, these were the same arguments that were being used for the pushing of indentured slavery, indentured servitude, same exact thing. Nobody's forcing you to do it. We're just making sure that people have the ability to do it because they don't have enough money to get here. Hang on.
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt your closing.
That's fair.
Okay. The indentured servants, they want to come here. They just can't afford it. Okay, so we can charge them whatever they want. And doesn't that really just make their life better because we're giving them the option to do it? These are the same exact arguments that were made for that. Same exact thing. And so the thing is like, look, fine. That's great that you want this option, right? But that doesn't change the fact that feminism created the conditionals for this. Not the patriarchy and not coverture laws. Feminism, hang on, created the conditionals for this. And since they did and they advocated for it, they pushed everyone into it, they made a bunch of economic slaves out of otherwise viable women in their fertile years who could have gotten married.
I mean, can I just respond to that? The thing, though, is that it wasn't that women weren't allowed to be indentured servants and then only men could be indentured servants and then feminists pushed for women to be indentured servants. The issue is that men could go to college, but women couldn't. We didn't have the option. We were fighting for the option.
Most men only got the option to start going to college en masse, right? Only slightly before women did. That's one. And two, let me just point this out, that if college was really about rewarding the best and the brightest, not everybody could go. And the entirety of the push for this should always have been for that anyway. And what happened is feminists made a bunch of economic slaves out of women that they really didn't need to make out of women. And they still, by the way, on every mainstream network, this is what you'll see female feminists in modernity saying. Go to college, go to college, go to school, because a lot of them are paid fucking shills, in fact. Okay? So yeah, feminism did bring the conditionals for this. They did make economic slaves. And here's the thing, as long as you agree, and here's maybe the olive branch that we can get. Fine, you don't want to call it slavery, economic slavery, don't call it economic slavery. I think that in any other conditional, though, as an avowed socialist like you would use that exact language, economic slavery. You just don't want to blame it on feminism. You want to blame it on capitalism.
No,
but it's like, even if I say
I agree with you that the system is
but even
fucked,
if I
but
make,
I don't believe
can
that
we have an olive
feminists
branch?
are the ones who
Can we have an olive
perpetuated
branch
this
then that forms of bad capitalism mixed with bad feminist ideology created the conditionals for this? Maybe that's the olive branch.
I think it's forms of bad capitalism that created the conditionals for this that everyone experiences. And I also feel like you're kind of downplaying what men have to deal with as well. I mean, men are in this same freaking boat.
No, well, not really. Men are moving towards the trades. They understand that there's a massive scammery going on with college. They're moving into trades, and they don't have to spend as much. In fact, they get paid. Most of the time when you're training for a trade, you get paid a high amount of money. Most trade schools that you go to, maybe you go for 6-8 weeks, and then you're assigned as an apprentice, or sometimes you just start as an apprentice and you work for 4 years, and you're getting paid the entire time.
Yeah.
That seems like the opposite of economic slavery. This seems like it is, and I think that feminists created the conditionals, and I'll leave it there.
But feminists also gave women access to go to trade school as well. Like all forms of higher education, feminists fought for the right to women to attend to. And then we can choose among those.
It was higher education. Women weren't fighting to get into trade schools.
You don't think trade school's a form of higher education? Hey, man, don't
They
knock
weren't
trade school.
fighting to go weld. Okay?
It's the equality of opportunity.
They weren't fighting to go weld.
Do you understand what the equality of opportunity is?
Oh, give me a break.
It's
That
the
wasn't what it was about.
opportunity.
It was about a bunch of industrialists hornswoggling you into becoming second-class citizens because you became economic cogs.
Okay, I'll just close this out. I think we can agree that the college education system needs some severe reformation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we can agree that it's fucking a lot of Americans, both men and women. Where I disagree is that I don't think that feminism is the cause of this, I guess, universal fuckage. Instead, it literally created the ability for women to choose this. And it's not forcing it on women. If they are going to go into too much debt and it's not economically feasible to go to college, as a feminist, I'm telling you right now, don't do it. If it's not worth it, then don't.
Yeah, that's great, but that's like counterintuitive to what your whole movement said for the last, 60 years.
I don't think you understand my movement, Andrew.
I think I'm the only one at the table who does.
I would disagree.
We have 3 prompt options. Problems with democracy, women just as violent as men, if not more, and force doctrine, the descriptor for Earth.
Yeah, do you want to do force doctrine? Because we never got to that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We didn't. Honestly, I kind of wanted to do problems with democracy.
Yeah, we
I
can do
thought
that too.
was
Problems with democracy,
cool.
fine.
Yeah, you want to start with problems with democracy and then move on to, what was the other one? I like women are more violent too. Do you have a preference?
Let's do problems with democracy.
Okay,
And then
cool.
force doctrine, and then time permitting.
Well, I don't think we're going to have time after this one.
Force
but we'll
doctrine is
see.
going to be really long, is what I'm saying, is what I'm thinking.
Well, then let's do force doctrine so we can get out of the way.
Let's do force doctrine then.
Let's do force
Alrighty.
doctrine.
So Andrew, it's your claim if you want to.
Yeah, so force doctrine is a descriptor which just describes that women gain their rights from men. That's the descriptor.
Okay, so why do women gain their right? Do you want to define force doctrine and why
I just
you believe
did.
this is? No, you didn't.
What am I leaving out of my own definition?
Well, why do women, because?
Why do they have
There's
to
no
appeal to them?
justification. Yes, women gain their rights
Because
from
men have a monopoly on
because-
force. And since they have a monopoly on force, women always have to appeal to them. Example, if women right this second who were in some Middle Eastern nation, right, wanted their rights from the men and the men did not want to give them any rights, can you demonstrate for me a single shred of recourse that they could have except appealing to other men or the men that are not giving them rights?
I mean, well, they could invent a bomb that would just destroy everyone.
Can you give me a single historic example of women ever successfully using physical force to overthrow when they're considered second-class citizens by the men?
No, but I honestly believe physical force is immoral. I guess my issue with force doctrine is so what? What is your point? Sure, that's your definition, but
Well,
why is this?
My point
important?
is that it's very clear again that men are very benevolent, because
That's it?
Because
So you just want a pat on the back?
No, I would like to see gratitude in the world for men, because it is indeed the case that they have the monopoly on force, and at any time, according to their own preferences, could just enslave all women. And it's really funny because it's like.
So wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Pause,
Imagine
pause.
saying
You think that women should thank you for deciding not to enslave us?
I mean, the idea here is simple. The idea is that if it is the case that you have people who are drastically weaker, one people group than another people group, okay? And they can do anything they want to you whenever they want, and half the world demonstrates that that's the case. At least in this half of the world, we don't do that. And because we don't do that, women take for granted that the men here are so benevolent that they could take what they wanted, and they don't. And it's it's not just about a pat on the back. It's about actually thanking them for every breath of every day, because ultimately they could do this, and you can't refute that they can.
Well, do you believe that there is a moral obligation? What's your?
I don't believe that you can
Do you think
justify
that there,
moral
well,
obligation
then I want to
against
ask
it.
you. Do you think that there is a moral justification?
No, it's not an ought claim.
Well, no. Well, it should be. I would like to.
It should be an
I
ought
would
claim?
like to hear your prescriptive. I would like to hear your.
It's not a
prescriptive
prescriptive
opinion.
claim. It's a descriptive claim.
I know, and I want it to be prescriptive. I just want to hear, what is your moral justification for why you believe that doing the bare minimum is somehow some great thing? What's your moral
You mean gratitude?
No, not your moral justification for gratitude. I guess what I'm saying is, so under your analysis,
Yeah.
every man at any point could just overpower a woman and force his will on her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they choose not to do it.
They choose not to do it.
So what if they did choose to do it?
Yeah.
Do you have a moral justification for why that would be okay?
I do, but I believe that only my view gives a moral justification, and I believe that your view does not.
Well,
so
I
I'll
wanna
give
hear
you
your
mine. Okay, so my moral justification is that I make an appeal, and I ground my epistemology and ontology in Jesus Christ. And I think that you can't get to knowledge philosophically without having grounding. So the thing is that's how I would ground my morals for you ought not do that. However, the problem that you have is that secular states are rising up everywhere. And the appeal to Jesus Christ is not rising up. And so if it's the case that secularism cannot make an appeal for why men ought not do this outside of preference, then aren't you just laid bare by men's preference? Whenever they decide that they prefer to do this, right? What moral thing can you appeal to other than your own preferences that they don't?
Wait, so you exclusively believe that something is moral or immoral based on whether or not God told you it was moral?
Based on
or
Christian
immoral?
ethics, divine command, and church history, apostolic succession, the grounding of understanding the transcendent.
Remember, Andrew's a very devoted religious man. That's why when I told Tevin earlier, his whole end game is to get men back not only in line with the Lord, but back into being, men of value, men that sees and wants to build family structure and to carry on and perpetuate the race. That is Andrew's end game. He's not all so much liking of men by their own course engaged in degeneracy. He doesn't like that. So let's keep going.
Dentals, which are required to be grounded in God for them to even exist.
Okay, but the wisdom of God has to be translated through man.
So what?
So then your morality isn't based on God. It's based on somebody else's interpretation of God's
sure.
will.
So then if all it does is get us back to preferences, right? I'm fine with that too.
So you're back to this preference-based sense of morality.
So
okay.
if that's the case,
which was justifying slavery. Okay, so can I just?
Yes, your morality justifies slavery. I agree. Yes.
No, but Andrew,
yes.
You're the one who believes in preference-based morality. You have.
So do
that.
you.
Oh, no, I don't.
Then give me the grounding where it's not preference-based.
I believe that morality is objective.
You don't.
Yes, I do.
Then
I've said it multiple times.
Objective means exist absent minds.
Yes. I do believe that morality.
So where does it exist absent minds?
Well, it's not a physical concept.
Then if all human beings died tomorrow, is there things that are still moral or immoral?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Well, there's other life on Earth, Andrew.
So if a lion eats a fucking rabbit, is it moral?
Well, no. I mean, yes, sorry.
It is?
It's a form of sustenance. I mean, we eat chicken every time.
Wait a second. So
you don't believe that
hang on. So if it's the case, hang on. I'm making sure I got this right. If it's the case that all human beings on planet Earth are dead, there's no more minds. There is still there is still morality.
But there are still minds.
I
there's
know.
Monkeys
I know.
And tigers
yeah, that's
and lions.
no.
There are still minds.
Oh, okay. So how does morality exist then? Is it monkey morality?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
So is there objective human morality?
I think that there is objective human morality.
Okay, so how does it exist absent mind? You got to get her to answer, dude. She's just going to pivot.
Because there's other animals on Earth.
You got to answer this question. Listen, you have to answer this. All human minds are gone. All of them. Okay. Everyone. There was a plague and every human died, right? What would then make a thing objectively moral or immoral? Meaning there's no more minds, and it exists somewhere as being moral or immoral, absent an interpreter.
Yeah, I mean, the concept of objective morality would still exist.
How? There's no minds.
No one there to see
Then
it.
who could come up with the concept?
It already exists.
How could it exist without you coming up with it?
Because we're already alive. We're here right now. So just because we died tomorrow doesn't mean what happened hasn't already happened.
If you're all dead, if everyone's dead, how can concepts exist?
Okay, Andrew, I'll humor you. If humans never existed, then human morality would not exist either.
No, so if humans no longer exist, then human morality also no longer exists.
Well, it was already invented. It already exists. So yes, we would be gone, like we wouldn't be there to record it, but it still exists. It's a concept.
Where does it exist?
A concept is immortal.
No, concepts are not immortal.
Well, people wrote them down, so it's there.
Who's there to read them?
Nobody. So it doesn't.
So then, how did they exist?
It doesn't matter, but it still exists.
No, it doesn't.
Something can exist without mattering.
Where could it possibly exist?
In a book. Have you seen one?
A book that nobody can read?
Yes. So
because nobody's there.
But it still exists.
How does a concept?
Andrew, there is a difference between existence and whether or not and importance.
I would agree a book would exist and a book would have words on it.
So if somebody wrote down all of the objective moral principles that we have learned through humanity and basic human instincts and human experience, it would still exist.
No, just the book would exist, not the concept.
The concept is in the book. There's words in books. That's why we read them.
Doesn't a book require a mind to interpret it?
Sure, so it wouldn't matter, but it still exists.
Only the book exists.
Yes, and the book has the concept in it. Oh my God. There is a recorded version of this concept. So it continues to exist, but there is no one there to observe it.
So
do you not get that?
Nope, not at all. How does a concept exist if somebody's not around to observe it?
If a tree falls, it exists because it was created and documented, right? And now humans no longer exist, but the concept is still there. Just like the Diary of Anne Frank still exists, even though she doesn't, right? The concepts that she wrote in that book are still there, even though she isn't. That's why we fucking write things down.
Do books require interpreters?
Yes, so it wouldn't matter at that point, but it still exists.
So, hang on. A book exists.
Yes.
A concept does not exist because it requires a mind and an interpreter.
The concept does exist.
No.
It just doesn't matter.
No.
Yes.
No.
Human morality would still exist, but if there's no humans, then it doesn't matter.
Help me out here. Let us pretend for a moment that you came across a book full of alien writings that had all of their morals in it.
Sure.
And you couldn't read the book.
Okay.
How could and all these aliens were dead.
Okay.
How could the concept now exist?
Well, the concept is still there and it still exists, but the humans don't. I mean, or the aliens don't. Andrew, do you not understand when something can be objective without being physical? Like, something can exist if it didn't have a physical form. Dude, we gotta put you in like a biology class or something. How do you not get this? Like, why are we going around in circles about this? It's kind of a basic concept.
Yeah, and I'm basically trying to figure this out.
And you're basically struggling hard.
That's true. I am totally struggling with this.
You don't think that something can exist even after... It doesn't matter. It's not important anymore because humans aren't there. But it still happened and it still exists.
So do you think that if I write a concept down on a piece of paper, like do not kill all men named Chuck.
Okay.
All men named Chuck, right? And I die.
Okay.
Okay. And there's nobody around. Is it now objectively true that it is immoral to not kill Chuck?
Well, you don't get to decide objective morality as an individual.
Then who does?
It's a collective.
So the collective gets to decide.
Yes. I mean, so you think that it should be Sky Daddy, and I think it should be based on the will.
The collective will.
It's object morality on the basis of the experiences of the collective.
Okay, so if
I do think that there is an objective good and bad.
So if I write,
I don't believe
so
that
if I write
the
now,
will
if I write
is
now,
what determines that morality.
The whole of the law shall be, you do not kill Chuck. And the majority of people agree with me before I die, and we all die. Is that now what's objectively moral?
What the fuck are you talking about? Go back.
If most people agree with my only commandment of do not kill Chuck, and almost everybody agrees with me, and we all die, but I have left behind this little pamphlet that says do not kill Chuck, and it's now written down. Is that objectively moral now?
Well, it doesn't matter because we're all dead. So sure, maybe it is, but it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It can still exist, but it doesn't matter. This is literally the point.
So is that objectively moral or not?
What the fuck? We're not talking about whether or not that is objectively moral. We're talking about whether or not something can exist after the human race dies.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, that was what you were not understanding.
We're only discussing objective versus subjective morality. The idea here is very simple, right? You keep on claiming that I believe that morality is based on preferences, but I keep demonstrating over and over again, so do you. And I don't know why you won't concede the point. You look ridiculous.
I don't look ridiculous. I'm not the one who just justified slavery based on your own
you don't
version
understand
of
how
morality.
bad this is going to be. I'm telling you, you don't even understand how bad this is.
Well, I'm sure your fan will really appreciate it.
No,
now,
it's not
Andrew,
my
fan. Can we go back
oh my God.
to...
We can't because...
No,
we
you just
can't.
don't want to have to defend the morality of force doctrine. That's what this is about.
How could... How could
you don't want to defend the morality of using coercive power.
It's for...
Oh my God, my head hurts. Oh, the agony, the agony. I'm gonna show how much I could take, guys. You know, And I really wasn't gonna really do this other part because it's such a long conversation. I had to bog down. I had to build the force within me to do this. I'm trying to get through it. Bear with me, people. Just bear with me. But it is what it is. God help us all. Let's go.
Is doctrine objectively not moral?
I think that using coercive power against the consent of those you are using that power on is immoral.
Prove
it. It's immoral because it's causing human suffering.
And what grounds human suffering as being what is immoral?
I believe that natural law dictates human suffering is objectively bad. And so does your God.
So I just
we
wanna
both
make-
agree on
so I
that
just-
in my secular framework and in your religious framework.
Well, hang on. Wait, you believe in a God?
No, I said in my secular framework and your religious
I see. So
framework.
what grounds natural rights as being objectively true?
I believe natural rights are grounded as being objectively true based on human experience.
So if humans have the experience are not true, are they still true?
What?
If a human being has an experience that tells them natural rights are not true, are they still true?
Well, that's a singular human. This is collective human experience.
So
I'm not a collectivist, just to clarify.
Okay, so collectively, if collectively human beings experiences that natural rights are not true or natural law is not true, then natural law is not true?
If collectively humans experience that natural laws are not true. Well, certain natural laws are just like killing is
Now,
bad.
answer
Do you
my
think
question.
that?
If collectively human beings don't, through their own experience, do not believe natural laws are true, are they still true?
Well, let's pick a natural law. Suffering causes harm. Or harm causes suffering.
No,
Sorry,
not
reverse.
always. Sometimes.
Harm causes, okay. Physical harm
No,
causes
it's only
suffering.
sometimes.
Non-consensual physical harm causes suffering.
Only
Even if
sometimes.
every human agreed that non-consensual physical harm causes suffering, if
Yeah.
somebody stabbed Brian in the neck and he suffered
Yeah.
because he was physically harmed,
Yeah.
it's still true. Sorry,
It's
Brian.
true that he got stabbed in the neck,
It's
but
still causing
you haven't
physical
demonstrated
harm.
how it's true that that's immoral.
Because it's objectively true.
No, him getting stabbed in the
what-
neck is true, but
I'm
how
not
is it
talking about
immoral?
Morality. I'm talking about natural laws being objective, even
Isn't
if
natural law the
collectively we
basis?
disagree with them.
So is natural law a descriptor of like things that happen?
Some of them, somewhat. I mean, suffering causing harm is not just a descriptor of things that happen.
Let's start with this. What is natural law? Let's just make sure I get it right.
Natural law is the collective belief that humans can define that there are objective truths about morality, about good and bad, based on human experience.
So it's collective belief.
It's not collective belief.
You just said natural law is the collective belief.
Okay, well, it's some people's belief that things can be that actions can be objectively
So what is
good
natural
or
law?
bad.
What is it?
It's the objective belief that some things are objectively good or bad.
What?
Oh my God, Andrew, you just really don't want to have to defend.
This is what I am defending it right
You're
now.
not defending the morality of forced doctrine because you have not made an opinion on whether or not forced doctrine is moral or immoral.
I did.
No.
I literally told you
So do you
what
think that
my
forced
morality is.
So you believe that forced doctrine is moral?
Sometimes.
In which instances?
Well, I would say if you're utilizing forced doctrine, in the reasonable response to how the Lord would ask you to operate, then it would be fine.
In what instances would the Lord justify harm?
You mean harm? Well, all sorts of different
Yes,
instances.
give me an
Self-defense,
example.
for instance.
Okay.
Warfare, for instance.
What warfare
There could be
is justified?
possibilities where you need. Well, you could.
What warfare has been justified by God?
Oh, well, tons of warfare has been justified by God.
Which ones?
You mean in the Old Testament?
No, I'm talking about currently what human warfare. I mean, God deciding to smite someone is
Do
not
you
warfare.
think that?
What human warfare has been justified by God?
I don't know what that means. Justified by God.
When did we, as a species, go to war and God was like, "That is good"?
Oh, I mean, there was tons of times in the Old Testament where God where God ordered them. Sure, I'll pull up the scripture. Do you want the scriptures where
Sure,
God ordered
yes.
people to go to war? Here you go. I mean, that's fucking crazy that you don't know this, but here you go. All right.
Man, this is your religion, Andrew. You shouldn't have to Google it.
Well, I just want to be precise.
That's fair.
Okay. Old Testament, God commands war. I mean, he wiped out the Nephilim. I mean, he did all kinds of things. So, yeah, key examples include the conquest of Canaan, where God commands the destruction of the Canaanites. I mean, that's one example right off the top of it. But he's actually many times created justifications for war.
So I guess
yes.
I want to understand your morality a little bit, because you have to familiarize me, because I'm not myself a Christian. So
All right, 1 second, guys. Let's continue, guys.
because
what are called
God
Christian
justified that instance of war, do you believe that God is justifying all instances of war?
No.
Okay, so according to God, when is war justified and when is war not unjustified?
Well, that's a loaded question, but I'll try to answer it as best I can. Concepts of war are generally justified through the ideas of self-defense. The rigors of what would happen inside of collective warfare would necessarily have to follow Christian ethics. So you couldn't do things like essay women. You couldn't do any of those things. They would be restricted by the New Testament Gospels.
Okay, so would you say that it's fair to assert that God generally, because I know that do not kill is a commandment.
Do not murder.
Well, killing and murdering are equivalent, but
No, they're not the equivalent.
to an extent. But
Not to an extent.
for the context of this debate. Oh, so now you're a lawyer. Okay, so we know that God says.
This is basic philosophy.
Hold on. I actually want to look that up.
Yeah, killing and murder are two different things.
I agree that killing
One
and
is
murdering are
justified,
different.
one is not
No, I
justified.
agree that killing and murdering are different things, but I didn't know that God justified those. Oh, yeah, so it's thou shalt not kill. Okay.
It's thou shalt not murder.
I mean, the actual quote in the Bible is thou shalt not
Not in the
kill.
Septuagint, which is the origination of the Bible that we're reading, is thou shalt not murder.
So you're not using the King James edition of the Bible?
The NKJV.
So you just wrote your own Bible?
NKJV, we use the Septuagint. Where did the King James Bible come from? Do you even know?
No.
Then
but
what are
it
you
is the
talking
most
about? You have
widely
no idea
respected
about the
used
historic standard.
version of the-
It is thou shalt not murder.
So you just got the quote wrong, though.
What? It's literally ask Google while I'm sitting here. Is it thou shalt not kill or thou shalt not murder? Ask it.
In older translations, it is phrased as thou shalt not king, and in newer ones, it's thou shalt not murder.
Oh, so I was right again.
I mean, we were kind of both
No,
right.
you were just wrong.
It's thou shalt not
You've
kill
been
in
wrong
some
this whole
versions, and
debate.
it's thou shalt not kill it, murder in others.
No, in the original, the
In
translation.
the original, it was thou shalt not kill.
Yes.
And then they changed
No,
it
it's
to thou shalt not
murder.
murder.
It's murder.
But it's both. It was both. Like, anyway. So God just only, so you cannot murder
Yeah.
according to God. But the only justification for murdering or killing, either one, is self-defense, according to your God.
Well, it depends on what we're considering self-defense to be. There can be other instances where there could be justifiable killings that fall outside of self-defense.
Like what?
Well, like, I don't consider it murder if I'm working on top of, like, a fucking bridge and I accidentally kick a wrench off and it falls down and it hits somebody in the head and they die.
Well, I think that's negligence.
I don't consider that, but it's killing someone. But I don't consider those categorically the same because I think murder requires intent.
You don't or God doesn't?
Same. It'd be the idea of intentionality.
Okay, so under your religious framework, intentional murder.
Yeah.
Okay, intentional murder is bad, right? Can't do that, or you're
Yeah.
going to go to hell.
Yeah.
So then, under your religious framework, forced doctrine is immoral.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I mean, it is.
Can you explain how?
But why do you deserve a cookie from women for not choosing
Now
to
you're
murder
just changing
us?
the goalposts.
You
You just said under my religious framework, force doctrine's immoral. Now fucking demonstrate it and stop playing games.
Excuse
Like
me.
literally demonstrate it.
Oh my God. He's
Demonstrate
so
it.
angry. I love it when you get mad.
Demonstrate it.
I mean, under your definition of what is moral and immoral, based on your God, which
Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree with, but under that definition,
Yeah.
it would be immoral to suddenly impose your will using coercive power on a woman and kill her or murder her.
Wait a second.
Either one.
I'm sorry. How does
You
this in any
can't-
way dispute force doctrine?
It disputes the morality of you thinking you deserve a pat on the back for choosing not to murder women every day.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. Let me.
I mean, you started this. Hold on, let's go back because you started this debate by saying that women.
I just can't even believe this.
No, I mean, Andrew, I just feel like you're just struggling to understand your own
you're right.
ideas.
I am struggling to understand.
You started this debate by saying that women should thank you. We should thank you so much.
They should, yeah.
For choosing every day
Yeah.
not to violently harm us and
Yeah.
murder us and kill
Yeah,
us.
that's right.
But your God tells you not to.
Yeah.
So why should we thank you for following the basic rules of morality set by your God?
So then I think
you haven't done me a favor.
So then in this case,
you've just gotten yourself into heaven.
So isn't the logical extension of this that you should thank my God?
That's not you though. Like,
So
why do you deserve credit for that?
Then say thank you to my God.
I'm not saying thank you to
Well,
your
then
God.
what are you even talking about?
But
Yes, Naima, bow down to the all-power white God. Yes, thank you for I spare your life, bitch. I will not delete you, bitch. We are going to make sure that you have comfort on earth as it is in heaven, bitch. That's what Andrew is laying out. You must pray and thank God, baby. That's the only way to it. If it's not his mercy, you will not be around. That's what Andrew is implying to you. I know the truth hurts. All right, let's go.
you started this debate by saying I should say thank you to men, to you. Why?
No, I actually
and you
started
were
this
wrong.
debate explaining
You were actively
that
just
absent
proven wrong
and-
because you wanted me.
Not only
to
was I
thank
not proven
men,
wrong, but
instead I should be thanking
you
you.
got to stop filibustering.
You just conceded.
Are you going to let her filibuster the
It
whole
was a
time?
concession.
You got let him speak.
Okay,
please.
well,
You just,
after your
just
concession,
fucking.
let's hear your,
all you do is
how you're gonna-
filibuster. So look, we're going to make this super easy. Actually, at the start of the debate, you're wrong. I said only through my view can rights be justified for anybody, including women. Only through my view of God can rights be justified. And what did you end up doing here? Proving that the only justification we've ever come up with for why any of this would be wrong, right, or otherwise is my God.
No,
you
Andrew,
have
that is not the
presented.
only
You
reason.
have presented nothing.
I'm using your
stop
ethical framework.
filibustering.
Okay, sure.
Let him
Fuck,
finish.
stop filibustering. So all you do is filibuster.
Just let him finish, though.
Well, I mean, at some point, you have to let the other person speak. So the thing is like, look, not only have we demonstrated that it's only through my God, and I guess you should thank him by your own logic, but you've never created a single standard yet for how your morality is anything other than preference. In your internal critique just now, all it did was ratify what I said at the beginning of the debate, which is that I don't think rights can be grounded through anything but God. And guess what you established? Well, guess what, Andrew? Rights can't be established by anything but your God. You're right. They can't. I agree. And on top of that, let me just point this out. The entire first part of the debate on the preferential end, all you did was describe how morality is preferential over and over and over
No,
again.
I didn't.
So
I
if it's
was
the case,
refuting your belief.
Hold on, let him finish.
only through Christian
Let him
ethics
finish.
can this be grounded, right? And in your worldview, now, through your worldview, can you explain how forced doctrine is wrong outside of preference or not?
No, Andrew. By the
No.
way, what I was just doing
No.
is proving through your own ethical framework why you don't deserve shit. You don't deserve a thank you for women from following the teachings of your own ethical framework brought to you by your God.
So then-
whether or not I agree
Andrew,
with
let her finish.
Go ahead.
whether or not I agree with the framework, you have created an ethical framework that puts the moral onus on your God. So you acting morally is not some gift to me and to womankind, but it is what you were told to do by your God. So why would I thank men? Why should women thank men? That's what you wanted. You wanted a thank you from women for not killing us, for doing the absolute bare minimum, which your own ethical framework acknowledged is the absolute bare fucking minimum.
But that's you just making my point. And by the way, let me just point this out.
Me to thank God for making men do the
Let's
bare
just point this out.
Let them answer.
Are all men Christians?
No.
Then should we thank them?
Well, yes, they're following their own secular ethical framework that is teaching them not to just maim other women.
You should say,
and by
you
the
should
way,
thank
there are
men. So you
Christian
should thank men.
Well, I mean, not you.
But you should thank. I didn't say me. I said men. So you should thank men.
I guess I should thank natural law. Thank you, natural law. I agree.
How does what?
Because it's objectively immoral. Because it's objectively immoral to kill people.
No, it's objectively immoral. I just can't demonstrate it.
Do you not think that killing is objectively immoral?
Only from my view, but not from yours.
No, from everyone's view.
No, not from
From literally.
It's not literally
view.
from everyone's view.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of, no.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Fine. From Muslims' view, from a Muslim's view, is it objectively immoral to take away rights from women?
I mean, I'm not Muslim.
Oh my God. From a Muslim's view, is it objectively immoral to take away rights from women?
But I haven't studied the Quran, so why should I be the one answering on behalf of Muslims?
Is there anybody in the world? Does North Korea take away rights from women?
North Korea takes away rights from everybody. Didn't you say you wanted to move
And
there?
women?
Well, everyone. It's an equal opportunity.
And women?
Oppressor. Sure, yes.
And women. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So the case is like, if South Korean men go in there and put a stop to that shit, should the South Korean women at least thank them?
The South Korean,
or the North Korean women? The North Korean women. Should they at least thank them?
the North Korean people? I mean, North Korea is not a
Are human beings, are the women, they're not people? Shouldn't
North
they
Korea
thank them?
is not a state that is oppressing based on gender.
So
It's
should they
oppressing
thank them or
everyone.
not?
If South Korea decided to come in to North Korea,
Yeah.
wage war to liberate the North Korean people, and they wanted this, then yeah, the entirety of North Korea should probably thank South Korea for being liberated.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So the only qualm that you have here is that you shouldn't thank Christians because we follow our ethics, but you should thank secularists because they have no ethics and just don't do it anyway.
But the difference is the doing versus not doing. Like, Andrew, in North Korea, the South Koreans would have to actually go to war, fight, and potentially die for the freedom of another person. But here, all you have to do is just not murder women. Like, how hard is that to just not murder
but that's
women?
not an argument.
Yes, it is. Why should I thank you for doing nothing?
Thank men.
Why should I thank men
Because
for
at any
doing
time they
nothing?
want, they can collectively enslave all women, and they don't.
But at any time we want, we could collectively do all kind of horrible things. Like, why do you think you should deserve a treat for doing the bare fucking minimum
Well,
as a society?
here's the thing that's
I mean,
funny is,
anyone
like-
could abuse their child. Do you think that children every day should wake up and thank their parents? Thank you for not abusing and killing me, parents.
I think that they should be grateful to their parents. Yeah.
I mean, everyone should be grateful to a good parent, but you really think that we, like, as a society, haven't advanced
You're like a
past the point where
contradiction
you
machine.
need to-
Let each other
You're like a
finish.
Do you
contradiction
really-
machine.
I mean, you should thank
Hold
your
on,
parents if
Andrew,
they're
just
nice
let her
parents,
finish.
but
Yeah, you should
not
thank your parents, yeah.
You
Hold
should
on,
thank,
let each other finish,
Andrew,
please.
you should thank your parents because they're nice parents, but not because every day they choose not to abuse you. Again, these are the bare minimums.
You know, it's funny.
Like, it's just not doing something.
It's funny to me because, like, there's such a lack of cogency here. You say that you should thank secular men, right? And you should thank them because they're following natural law.
I don't think you should thank secular men.
You literally just got done saying you think we should
I said we
thank
should thank
secular
natural
men.
law.
Let each other
Okay.
finish. Let each other finish.
Which is your form of morality?
Yeah, to an extent.
Then why should we thank your form of morality for doing the bare minimum? You're just following your own morals.
What?
Yeah, why would you thank men who are just following natural law?
I
right?
wouldn't
You
thank
wouldn't?
them. Just said I wouldn't.
Hang on, you wouldn't?
Let Andrew finish.
No, I wouldn't.
Then
thank
why did you
men.
say before you would? You would.
I would not thank men. I literally thanked natural law like 30 seconds ago, Andrew. You're just not paying attention.
So then shouldn't you thank my God then?
For creating a moral system in which you decide
If we should thank natural law?
Let her
to
finish.
murder
If we
people.
should thank natural law, shouldn't you thank my God?
Well, I should, but I'm just not going to.
Oh, okay. So you
So in other words, she will not yield, Andrew. So by default, you're wasting time, brother. You're wasting time, dude. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys interested, if you want, you can participate in the chat room. Only way you can participate, you gotta subscribe to the channel and hit what your thoughts and opinion in the chat room or in the comment section after this concludes. Either or, I'm going to read it regardless. Let's go.
You're just a contradiction machine. Got it.
No, I'm not a contradiction machine. I just don't agree that
was
you
a
just
huge concession.
Andrew, it's not a concession.
Yeah, it
you
was.
believe that you deserve a pat on the fucking back for doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying I don't believe you do. If anyone does, it's God or natural law or the concept of morality.
I know.
Whatever it is that prevents you from doing horrible things to other people.
I know. So,
but you
I
don't
know.
deserve
I
a
get it.
cookie
I
for
get it.
sitting on your
Yeah, I
couch.
understand.
Like, why do you think that? Every day we could all go out and choose to commit an act of violence, and we don't. You're not special for that.
Yeah, I know.
You're
I got
not.
it. I get it.
Okay,
Now, can I
then
close?
why do you think you deserve it? Thank you.
Can I close now?
Sure.
Okay, great. So now that you're all done prattling, so you just made the concession. You literally just made multiple concessions there that you don't even know yet you made. The first one that you made is, well, I'm not going to thank your God, even though he's responsible for this, but you should thank natural law, the moral system that I utilize, which is incoherent. I've never explained, for why it is that secular men aren't. And it's like, that's the most hilarious contradiction I've heard this entire debate. And on top of that, it's like, look, yeah, do I think that women should probably be just a little bit grateful that it's considering that women are enslaved on half of planet Earth, or at least have way less rights to the point where you would consider them enslaved, to at least acknowledge that men could do this and are benevolent and don't and should be thankful for it? Yeah. But you know what? You don't have to. What you can do instead is you can be like, you know what? I'm a big, strong woman and all women are super strong and we're awesome. And so here's the thing. Fuck men. Who cares? They don't get a cookie. That's the least that they should do. But none of that refutes force doctrine, and none of that shows how it is that men couldn't do this and why it is that you shouldn't actually be kind of thankful that they don't, or at least perceive them as being benevolent.
So what about you, Andrew? Do you think you should
What
thank
about
men?
me?
Do you think that you...
Did you finish your close, by the
I
way?
No,
Or
she
did
always
you...
interrupts
Here,
every time I'm
allow-
talking.
Is this the close just on this prompt or your total close?
This is my total close.
Total close, okay,
Yeah.
go
So not only that,
okay.
your massive contradictions on on morality were so absurd. I don't even think you realize how bad it was. You have a circular argument that we went over multiple times, and you just never got. That even no matter what you were reduced to, you just came back to your own preference. It was completely circular, just over and over and over again. I even demonstrated this just by presenting as an anti-moralist Christian, an anti-moral realist Christian, in order to say, well, mine's just preference. And you spent almost 50 minutes arguing against your own moral system because you didn't even understand what was being said. And so it's laughable to me that as the debate continued and we got into other moral predictors and we got into things about feminism, you contradicted thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. You just contradicted yourself on natural law. You contradicted yourself on natural law again when you said you shouldn't appeal to my God and be grateful, but we should appeal to your moral system and be grateful. You contradicted yourself on your definition of slavery when you said indentured servitude. And then said it wasn't. You contradicted yourself literally, 20 minutes ago when you gave a definition for natural law and said it's a collective belief, and then it literally 1 minute later said, no, it's not collective belief. You're a contradiction machine. You have no coherency at all in your worldview. And it was completely crushed. Mine stood up to scrutiny fine. You didn't even understand what I was saying half the time. It's like, it's very frustrating, but this was like, look, your first showing, I think you got away with it because of the jar thing, but like, this was terrible. You just got absolutely decimated in this fucking debate. It was bad.
Yeah, you said that last time, Andrew.
You did it. Well, you did then too. There was an obfuscation you had then that's not there this time.
Are you done
done
with your close, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, we're done with this. We're done with this. Yeah, Andrew kind of really, I'm sorry to say he uphold his own on this because she has no answers. She couldn't really deal with she's trying to go too much based on the emotional. I found out even trying to deal with the logic, but logic was not there in this debate. This wraps up the conclusion of this debate. I have nothing to say. I just did the coverage. I mean, I did some background on what she doesn't understand about student loan debt or any other subjects that if I did not mention, you guys can replay of this. But other than that, Andrew won this debate. Another win for the Crucible. What's your thoughts? Leave your comments in the comment section of this video. Make sure to follow my social media links. You can follow me on Twitter at Chaos7. Follow me on Facebook, Eric Graham Facebook. Join my Discord service. Become a member of the Chaos Rain Show as well. And former Rumble handler, C-Red23 Rumble. Thank you for watching. Until next time, next time, let the chaos reign.
Man, all you hoes. You and your mammy and your granny too. I'm sick of this shit. All you hoes. Don't give a damn what you wanna do.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Must reign.